Oh, sublime. 90s bands. It's the Bennington Show on a Thursday. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
You.
Is that Stanley Bennington? He looks fabulous.
Oh.
You know, we're just getting down to the end of the dog days of summer. And I have to tell you, you think about summer and you think lemonade, you think fun, you think sun. And the Seinfeld family tried to set up a little lemonade stand for themselves out there in the Hamptons. And the neighbors bitched, and the cops came and shut her down in a big, big way.
Shut her down?
Shut her down because you can't be out there selling lemonade. You stop in traffic, and you don't have a reason to be putting this up. I gotta tell you, this is the thing about it. First of all, the initial thing is always like, oh yeah, why do cops have to hassle kids? But the other thing is, why do the super rich act like that they're regular people? You know what I mean? Like, you have a private airplane. You live at the Hamptons. Why are you teaching your kids to sell lemonade for charity? Why not just say, we're going to write a check for charity? Because that's how they're going to live their life.
Sure.
They're not going to grow up to be lemonade salesmen.
No, that's not going to be the situation. That should be free lemonade.
But also, I hate any neighbor who calls cops because the people next door are doing something. You know what I mean? Like, my neighbors could be shooting off bazookas, and I'd be just like, they'll pass out soon enough. I just don't like calling the cops on neighbors.
I can't imagine how bad it would have to be. Like, I'm sure I have a threshold, but I can't imagine what it would be that I was like, all right, the police are getting called for this.
I used to have a neighbor in Florida when I first moved down there across the street. And I don't know if they were running a meth lab, but people were coming and going, and they were real rednecks. And sometimes a guy would fight with her wife, they'd be rolling around in the front. I just dropped the blinds. Just like whatever happens, happens. But I'm not going to be somebody who complains about it.
That's none of your business.
Well, you know, that's the thing. What's the whole point of being a neighbor? Just for nice people?
Yeah.
I had expectations when I moved into this neighborhood.
I thought these neighbors were going to be a certain way, and we're all going to be best friends.
This didn't work out the way I planned in my fantasy head. Sometimes your neighbors are psychos. If you really want to be if you want a good neighbor, be a good neighbor. And then just yell, po-po, anytime it looks like they're being watched.
I would actually hate it if I liked my neighbors. Like, if I became too close with my neighbors.
Yeah, I hate that, too.
It would be uncomfortable for me. It's nice to keep friends at a safe distance where you can get to them when you
Mailbox friends.
And then eventually, you know, when you need time away.
Right. You want somebody to say, look, we're going to be gone for a week, so if anybody's around the house, they don't belong there. You don't want a neighbor who's just showing up.
Yeah.
With, like, you know, got wine.
No, I don't want that. I would never want that.
No.
Even if I really did like them as a person, my first thought was, God, I wish they lived farther away. So
I wish they lived in another state. That's the best place to have friends. So far away you can't deal with them. So it's hard to you know, feel for the family because, you know, they got $2 billion or whatever they got, so they'll be fine. But still, their neighbors are assholes. And if you really want to teach your kids a lesson, Jerry, you got to teach them the lesson of revenge. That's the next thing on your plate, to try to get even with those neighbors.
That's something they can use.
Because they're running a gossip column out of there. Let's go over to Tim in Virginia. Hey, Tim.
How are you today?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I had a neighbor call social services on me because my 7-year-old son was playing in the creek behind the house. And it took almost 4 weeks to prove there was nothing wrong with him playing in the creek.
Well, did they think he was going to drown up there?
It was probably 15 inches of water there, the same creek I played in when I was a kid.
You want to see a kid.
This woman was nuts. I mean, there's some people you just can't satisfy.
Well, this is becoming a newer thing. I have a coworker here who's, and I'm not going to say who Michelle is, but her neighbors complain all the time because she lets her kids out to play.
And they're allowed to walk home from friends' houses and stuff like that.
And the neighbors are freaked out by it. But this is something we all did
Yes.
when we were younger. You don't want to. Why would you say to your child, you can only be inside a box of some kind? Either the box that you live in here or your friend's box, but the area of earth in between is not safe.
You can't have it both ways, parents. You can't say kids never get out and they're always playing video games
Right.
and they're on their phone and their iPads. And then say, but you can't go out because it's not safe out there.
Well, they've turned that world into the real world. You know what I mean? The online world is now the real world, and the real world is something to be frightened about. And, you know, people are like, oh, you know, that nut shot those 2 people in Virginia yesterday.
Right.
I think we all get that that's a weird occurrence.
Right.
It's not normal.
It's true.
Maybe if you just give the kids guns, maybe if each of the children had a gun, things would be safe.
Yeah, we'd all be safer. They'd be able to protect themselves. I think that's the key.
Well, who shot a bear when he was 3? Was it Davy Crockett or Daniel Boone?
It was Davy Crockett, if I recall.
Wait, let me even ask this. Was Daniel Boone even real, or was it a made-up guy? Did I just say, like, who did something? Jackie Robinson or Superman?
Right.
Which one of those guys did something?
I don't know if Daniel Boone was real, but Davy Crockett definitely killed the bear because I remember it's in the tune.
Yeah, there's a little song about him.
Killed a bear.
Yeah.
It was only 3.
And then the bear was bigger, so he ran. I can't remember all the things to it, but here is Dean. Dean, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Good.
Yes. Hey, when Child Protective Services comes to your door, you really don't have to talk to them. I mean, they have no power to enter your house.
What do? Stack stuff up and turn it into Waco? Is that the answer, Dean? We Waco every chance we get?
They just go back to the office. Everything seems fine. They wouldn't even open the doors.
Yeah. So you just tell them facts are coming out, and now they'll probably come back with law enforcement, and then it's a different story maybe. But,
is that when you release the dogs?
Yes, exactly.
So anyway, the rich kids lemonade stand that's up on the iBank today, and I'm not outing the kids because I think their mom put it up on Instagram or something because they're all putting their hands over their heads like they're in big trouble for it, and they're just having a good time.
They're just yucking it up.
But really, I mean, you're in the Hamptons, you should be like putting a diamond stand on your front lawn and just being like, we're selling really valuable jewels.
For charity, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's
What's
going to
the
make
charity,
a difference.
Though? Did they say?
I'm not seeing what the actual charity was.
Probably made up.
All right, Aaron wants to give us an update on the Daniel Boone story. Aaron.
Hey, yeah, Daniel Boone is real. My parents' property, Daniel Boone went through there. There's a museum in my town that has a tree stump that he carved his initials into.
All right, so how do you feel knowing that he's in Davy Crockett's shadow? Does that bother you?
No.
I would get to me. I wouldn't want him to be the Scottie Pippen of American history because there's only like 2 kind of East Coast frontiermen that are famous. Those 2. I mean, the West has all kinds of badasses on the side of the law, and of course, bad men. But you really only got the Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone. I think they both came out of, I thought Tennessee, but I guess Kentucky is what I'm hearing from the last caller. Just seems weird that there's not more people known for that in the East. Well, right away they start to be like fucking weirdos in fancy hats and little fluffy shirts.
I mean, we were frontiersmen first over here.
Yeah, but only for a little while. And we set up a beautiful aqueduct, and off we went to the races.
We really established ourselves.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
Too much settling, not enough exploring. And Boone was born in PA, actually.
Oh.
Where at? Boone, Pennsylvania?
Makes sense.
Ole Valley.
Where's that?
Berks County.
So
northeast of Reading.
Whoa, he's got a lot of information. He was ready for all these questions.
He's fucking Stanley Pedia over there. Just all this shit's off the top of his head, folks.
Love Boone. Love him. Northeast of Reading. Guy was dominated over there.
You love Boone's Farm.
I found the charity that was that the Seinfelds were raising money for.
Yeah.
It was Jessica Seinfeld's Baby Buggy charity, which helps families in need across the country with essential gear, clothing, products, and services for children.
Oh, that's nice.
That is nice.
I wish it was something that helped out one percenters. Maybe help people get decent comedy tickets every time Jerry goes out on the road.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So the kids were out there. They had nothing to do in the summer. They were hot, so they thought they would sell some just lemonade. And the Popo actually had to roll in and stop them from enjoying themselves. Hey, Nick in Tennessee, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah.
David Crockett, he's from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. I don't know if there's any bears around here, but he supposedly killed one when he was 3. Like,
Yeah, he did. He shot a bear in the face.
Did he have a permit?
I don't think he needed a permit back then.
Nope. Just kill what you will was their motto.
The story of him doing that at 3, you know what I mean, with a musket. I mean, the kick on that thing alone.
How do you load it?
Maybe he poisoned it. Maybe that was the thing. He poisoned the bear when he was only 3.
A nice slow bear death.
Then when he was 4, he cut his nanny's throat. He was something.
He was a nut.
Yeah, he was something. He was a take no shit motherfucker. DC. Never got into David Crockett either. Stayed Davy.
Seems childish, but
Yeah, when he's older, does he still want people calling him Davy?
I never even had a friend named Dave that I called Davy. Because that whole fucking, hi, Davy. You know what I mean? This makes everybody sound stupid.
It's like you're mocking them.
Well, David and Goliath, let's face it, no one's ever going to get past that.
Yeah.
That happened. I mean, to me,
it's real.
I put that claymation above anything else in history. That, to me, is the most famous David.
David beat him so badly that no one even named their kid Goliath after that, which is sad, because that could be a cool name for a kid.
Why don't you try it then, Chris?
Goliath Stanley.
This is Goliath. He's big, but I don't think he's going to win in the end. Somebody could smack him with a rock.
Watch out for slings, kid.
Did you ever hear back from Liam?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, because I just saw him walk by.
What a dirtbag.
Let's forget. Liam's out. Never text somebody twice. Then you look like a fucking, seriously, like a Johnny come lately.
Desperate.
Let's, yeah. I don't want Daydream Johnny over there again, fucking dropping the ball. Joe, this is up to you. A young soccer star is going to be here today.
I know.
What time, though?
Oh, boy. I think 1 is when the event starts.
All right. Because I want to make sure I go see her.
Yep.
And I want to thank her for America's Gold Record. I'm not saying who it is, but I'm just going to say this. Your 3rd goal in that game against Japan made me scream with happiness.
Beautiful.
I don't think anybody said that to her yet. I'll say this to the whole soccer team. Good game, good game, good game, good game, good game, good game.
But then when you get to her, great game.
Here's Bruce. Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to tell you that Lewis and Clark were from the East, and they were pretty tough explorers who went all the way across the West.
Yeah, they did. And how many people did they kill on the way? None.
Oh, is that what you're looking for? Killers?
I'm looking for some buzz. I'm looking for some mythology. Not just 2 guys that were good walkers and picked up an Indian girl on the way.
Yeah. And we know what happened with that.
I think they used to call her Pokey Hot Ass there for a while, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was no HR back in those days. So she got stuck with Honey Tits. And Little Beaver. They called her Little Beaver for a while.
Unbelievable. They think exploring is DP.
I guess you are exploring somewhat there.
Yes.
You know?
Together. 2 brothers in arms.
Exploring your own sexuality. Chris Guest has got his Netflix show.
That's right.
And he said this, no Eugene Levy, no Catherine O'Hara.
break my heart.
Yeah, well, they're both doing some TV show.
Schitt's Creek.
Is it just Schitt's Creek?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Schitt's
Creek.
There's no even wordplay on that, just
Nope.
Schitt's Creek.
The wordplay is that shit is spelled slightly different, but that's about it.
It's SHITZ. Schitt's Creek.
So you guys, does this take the love out of it for you?
It makes me sad because especially Catherine O'Hara, I adore, but I will still see this movie. Of course I will, and I will still happily. I will enjoy it. I mean, he has so many great people that he casts. I don't think you'll be hurting.
I kind of have fallen out of love with one though.
One in particular?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't even say.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Can't think of the name.
Is it a girl or a guy?
Girl.
Yep.
Okay. I think we know.
You know why?
Why?
She has that stupid TV show now, and everything I liked about her seems to be gone.
I know. Because now you feel like you're sharing her.
Well, no, it isn't that, but her whole thing used to be just like awkward and funny, and now it's just like confident and gleed out.
Yeah.
You know? I caught a little bit the other night, and I'm like, I don't want to say who it is. I'm just like, Jane, please. You were so great before. When she did Party Down, I thought it was one of the greatest characters ever.
Oh, it's amazing.
And when she went to Glee, I'm like, this ruins everything. And I did an unmasked with her. I really like her a lot. But just, I don't know.
I've never seen a Glee. I've seen clips
They're
of Glee.
amazingly good.
Love them.
Yeah, my favorite is this. I like the singing kid in the wheelchair a lot. And then I like the singing kid who died of drug addiction.
Okay.
I don't know what his name is. Stanley, probably.
In real life and on the show.
I think that was his nickname.
They call him Stan Man.
John wants to try to brighten my day up. Go ahead, John. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Benny. When Lewis and Clark were going through Montana, well, it wasn't Montana then, but when they split up, Lewis and Clark did, and Lewis killed a couple of Blackfoot Indians who were trying to steal his horses.
See, this is all news to me.
Okay.
There's never been a really good movie on them. Billy the Kid gets $1 million.
Yes.
You know, you can't turn on TV without a fucking other Billy the Kid movie just swinging by you as fast as it can. This all reminds me, I'm looking forward to Hateful Eight, though, this year.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Quentin Tarantino, going back to the Western genre. But in his Westerns, everybody is wearing a black suit with a thin black tie.
Bolo tie, though?
No. Oh. I hate bolo. That's not even a tie. It should just be called a bolo rope.
It's a necklace.
Here's Andrew. Andrew, how are you?
Hey, Ron. I had a similar thing happen to me when I was a kid. Me and my friends, two friends, we tried to raise money for a fake baseball team out in the middle of the street in Philly, and then the cops showed up, and they were like, what team do you play for? And there was no team. We just wanted money.
Yeah. My kids, you could say anything like we're helping youth groups and be able to sell stuff. I was selling candles door to door for a youth group. I don't know where the candles came from. My brother set me up, but there was no youth group. And I know I saw a lot of candles on our street, like big, nice candles that smelled. But I got a nice little cut out of it. Like,
Nice.
yeah, you're just selling some candles. You're doing all right for yourself.
Doing very well.
Talk to some of your friends. Maybe you start selling candles to them. But we used to do a thing in our town called Tag Day. So this is how, when the guy isn't allowed to stay at a creek, during Tag Day, they would take the Little League kids, whether it was baseball season or football season, and they would just have this little tag on the end of a rubber band. And then you would stand at the busy sections for red lights. Then you would go up, knock on the person's window, and sell them the tag, and they could put the tag on and no other kid would bother them, right?
Okay.
So there was a bunch of us, and we're at this, it was a pretty busy intersection, but it was right near E&M's, Hoagies. And our coach drops us all off. So we're out there collecting money. He comes back like 5 hours later, Caesar's just eating cheesesteaks next to the street. And we said that we didn't collect shit. I go, nobody's giving anything. And he goes, where'd you got the cheese? He was like, and I'm like, look, let's face something. This isn't your money.
Yeah.
You know, if that's the game we're playing here, all this money isn't going to you. There's no reason for you to be any more upset than we are. No.
We chose to use it for cheesesteak.
Why don't you grab yourself half a cheesesteak and sit back and enjoy life, because it's pretty damn good right now.
You're going to be feeling a lot better once you do.
I can't even imagine now as an adult what went through his head when he just rolls up and seeing 9 kids just eating cheesesteaks. Nobody's collecting money.
Where's the tag money?
Tag day. Now, could you imagine? You would be arrested for saying, I dropped off these little leaguers to wait for the red light. You would stand, and during the green light, you were just standing in the middle, like on the yellow lines,
Holy
letting
shit.
cars go each way. And then when they stop, then you just like, tag day. That's all you would say to tag day. That's how well known it was.
Damn.
So annoying.
Yeah. It's insane. Every day they shut our blind and they take pictures of them.
Why is this a Sirius XM photo studio now?
I don't like
But here's the thing. There's nothing but red fucking curtains out there.
Why couldn't they do it there?
Wants to develop it too in here?
Welcome to the photo booth.
I don't get it. Plus, when you just see that light going on up there, it looks like somebody's being machine gunned down.
It looks like the fire alarm light.
No matter what, it looks like danger.
I don't know whether you guys saw the last comic standing last night.
I
but
did.
Joe List passed, and he's in the... Is he in the finals? Yeah.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the finals. And then I couldn't believe it. The entire audience started singing Joe List's theme song. And I'm like, how did they all know it? Yeah. And it's a great song.
Yeah, of course.
Although I worry that it's a little close to a Hall & Oates song. But
I don't hear that. I don't get it.
Well, let's listen again. Is that Michelle singing?
Yeah,
it's Michelle. Back up.
Those high notes are music to my ears.
Yeah,
literally, it's music to my ears.
We should just have her do Chai Lights songs one after another, because she could hit them all.
Oh yeah,
she could hit every note. So Joe List, we've got our hearts and our money bet on him to run with us this year.
Everything.
Yep.
It's let's face it, it's going to be, well, it was the summer of Joe List, but now it looks like it's going to be the autumn of Joe List, which makes it sound like he's dying.
I know, I hope he's okay.
Hopefully it won't be the fall of Joe List. God forbid.
That's you doing wordplay? That thud that just happened? You know what? Did you see his little eyes brighten? Like he was so proud of himself?
I got some. Hey, guys, autumn's also fall.
I got something that isn't, like, disgustingly vulgar for a change. What's it like when you feel like you got a good idea like that? You can't wait to present it.
Feels great. It feels great before it comes out of my mouth.
Once it hits your lips. So good.
So good. It's the taste.
The taste of pun.
Joe List was very, very funny last night, too. Here's Rob in Alabama.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Yeah, what's up?
When we were, me and my best friend were about 12, we collected $60 for the American Heart Association and went and bought weed with it.
Just went and bought some fucking Alabama dirt weed that was grown.
I wasn't in this state at the time. It was some really, really good shit from up the East Coast.
I don't know. I think all that fucking weed we used to get back then was very presentable. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one ever fucking had trouble with it.
Yeah.
Because you could just smoke it all day, and then finally Like, oh, I think I'm going to have a bowl of cereal. And that was the end of the high.
So mild.
Yeah. Well, it was much more conversational. You know what I mean? It was much more social. Because you would sit around and smoke pot together, not take one hit, and then fucking struggle for the next 4 hours to figure out how to use a remote.
I wish I grew up in that era.
In the THC count, that's all they're thinking about. The weed scientists
Yes.
is just pumping more and more THC.
I don't want that.
And now there's like wax, which is just straight THC that you take one hit off of it and you're gone. The wax
It is how it is already.
No, it's even worse. It's even crazier. The wax.
What about the body highs that they keep telling us about? Oh, you get a nice body high. Here's something for your elbows, if your elbows ache.
Help me get these down.
Or if they're down, you'll get them up.
Wax it's too fucking intense. It's crazy.
Too intense for you?
Your
weak fucking head?
I'd rather just fucking vape some bud. Some con bud, bruh.
Just fucking talk like a person. Seriously. First of all, you're way too old to even fucking
say bud.
Welcome yourself to slang. You don't belong. I'd rather see you in a Speedo than attempt to talk like a young skater.
You want to burn some trees, bruh?
Stanley, put that back. That's not for you.
Oh, you know what? I mean, this isn't the 1930s Negro jazz era where there could be cool lingo. Anyone can use it now, so it doesn't matter.
You don't
Just
need your
talk
jive
like
talk.
a person.
I'm on the inside. I know what's going on.
The inside it's legal now. No one cares.
Let me get some of that mustard.
The point comes back to this. What is the social aspect of marijuana now that you get so fucked up off of one hit? It's no longer a fun thing where people sit down together and get high and laugh. That's the major change. That's where technology has taken us, ladies and gentlemen. And why isn't Obama talking about this? If I'm Obama, I'm like, look, I'm not going to tell anyone how to live their life. I just think this weed's getting a little too strong. Me and Michelle tried to spark up a fucking joint last night. Ended up laying in the fucking Lincoln bedroom for the next 11 hours. I'm saying I think it's too strong. Here comes Joe Biden with his opinion. But that's literally the thing of technology. That's why, we have cars that could go as fast as we want to. We set up a fucking speed limit. Right. Because we figure there's a danger element. I'm saying the danger is this. You no longer have weed for a fun night with your friends. No. It's now just become this individual fucking ride.
It's not fun. There's nothing fun about it. Fucking freaks people out.
Look, I got no time for the weak kids. That's their own fucking business. If they're getting into a game that they can't fucking enjoy. I'm just saying, whatever happened to friends sitting down at a table, passing a joint around, listening to music and talking about the day. Fucking right away, Joey Jojo brings up, I just melted my couch for fucking 7 hours. That's not social.
No, it's become, you get really high and watch something together. And not talk to each other, but just watch something together. And then, then you're fucking eventually sober up. Eventually the weed.
Yeah, then you leave. So you've had 11 hours of laying separately. That used to be fucking guys when they did heroin. That's why heroin was not considered a social drug. It was something you could be with 80 people, but you're on your own ride there.
I'm going to the wax den later. We'll see you tomorrow.
What is it about technology that it just keeps pushing us and pushing us?
Yeah.
Has anything not changed? Is there one thing out there that technology hasn't affected?
Well, I think for the most part, here's something that's probably been mostly the same our whole life and probably will be for the rest of our life. I think we've got plumbing down. I don't think we're going to do anything much different with plumbing.
Plumbing has stayed pretty much the same.
Like we had some basic, very early ideas, and then we took that, tweaked it a little bit.
Right.
And we're pretty much still having running water and toilets and all that kind of stuff is pretty much running the exact same way. And I don't foresee it changing. I don't think like, hey, we just figured this out. This isn't going so well.
The future of plumbing First of all, I've never heard anyone bring this up before, so it's interesting to me. Because, yeah, all the tools seem pretty much the same as they used to be. The pipes look the same. Like, you could have plumbing, and it could be old, but as long as it's working, no one cares. You know, and then you just come and replace that piece. There's not like a new machine to get water. First of all, I don't even understand how plumbing works. I don't know why you could fucking just turn a faucet.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. The only thing that I could imagine might change is what we do with our wasted water, runoff or bath water, shower water, sink water. I think maybe we'll decide to put that to better use, and we'll maybe do something with that. But I don't think.
Well, we recycle that, right? Isn't all that water recycled?
Well, I have heard that like what they might want to do is use your bath and shower runoff water to flush your toilet, which would make sense.
Yeah, but that really doesn't change anything in your life. It doesn't change the way you live your life. You'd just be like, okay, that water's coming from there, not over there. Here's Carl. Carl, go ahead.
The Benningtons, one of the biggest issues with technology is it's advancing everything, but it hasn't touched toilet paper. It hasn't transcended
we have gone too
of toilet paper whatsoever.
Softer.
It is still the same. Really doesn't make much fucking sense of a thing. I know the rest of the world likes to get a hose up their ass, but doesn't seem to catch on in the States.
Not me. That's not how I'd like to wake up.
Jason in Wisconsin wants to jump into this.
Hey, buddy boys and buddy girls.
Hey.
Hey, I don't think you can really improve on plumbing. There's only 3 rules: hot on the left, cold on the right, shit don't go uphill.
And that's it.
That's it. that's the 3 basic rules.
So we've got it down. We've got it down perfectly.
Done. I mean, there's nothing that can go on from there.
I know that, like, now you can get your bathroom floor heated. That was a big jump ahead for the bathroom. If you want to walk in, they put coils underneath, and, you're just stepping on a nice warm floor.
That's unnecessary.
Why?
It's so unnecessary. It's 5 seconds of discomfort, and then you adjust very quickly.
No, you actually stay a little more time around the bathroom now because it's nice and heated.
I'm staying in the bathroom. Are you doing okay in there? No, it's just so cozy. I'm fine, though.
Here's Charles in Tennessee.
Hey, how are you, Ron?
Good.
Hey, man, what about the ancient civilizations? They used to build these structures to carry the water from miles and miles away through these stone bridges, and they had to design them just so that they would have enough angle to make it to the city where all the people were. And people would come from hundreds of miles to live in these towns because of these aqueducts that people would build.
It's amazing when you think about it.
It's really
amazing.
And then when you go to the store today, like if you go to a Home Depot or a Walmart, right, you look at the pipe aisle, and you can't just buy pipe anymore. It's got all these different variations of fucking pipe. You buy it for hot water, for cold water, it just goes on and on and on. And hell, I can't even figure out what pipes I need anymore because of all of the complexity.
I love the attitude of it, man. All right, Eric wants to disagree with you, Gail. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
So my wife and I just remodeled our bathroom back at the beginning of the year, and we put in that heated floor in our bathroom. Boy, it's nice. Like this time of year, I've got the central air cranked to about 67 degrees. You take a hot shower, you step out, the floor is nice and warm. We'll have the floor set at about 75, and the contrast, man, it's like nice and warm in there. It's so nice. And in the wintertime, when it's cold out, you get a real cold day out, even with the furnace going still, you get out of the shower and nice and warm. Instead of stepping on a cold floor, you're stepping on a nice warm floor. It's really nice.
What it costs for you to heat your bathroom floor like that?
I think everything installed was about $500.
Jesus,
so
sweet.
Drop in the bucket for I think we spent about $8,000 remodeling the bathroom, so about 500 of it was that. And we just looked at a model home the other day that had the heated floor in the shower itself.
Oh,
That's
what I need.
dangerous.
I need that. Yeah, I need to be hot footing around my shower.
He kind of sold me though.
Yeah.
I wasn't so sure it was necessary, but that does sound quite luxurious.
All right, for myself, could you tell me where I failed, where he succeeded, where I failed, where I tried to tell you?
He had a certain passion about him.
Was it the price point?
Price point helped. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't know. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know. I thought he was going to say $1 million.
Yeah, it's usually incredibly expensive.
It seemed like it can't even be done except for like by Donald Trump's butler. We didn't know what to get you for Christmas, so we heated your bathroom floor.
Thank you.
I know this. They're saying in the future this will be the big change in the toilet. That the toilet is going to be a smart toilet, and it will test your piss. I guess particularly your piss more than anything else, to let you know how you're doing health-wise, and you'll be able to spot stuff like diabetes, cancer, what other fucking diseases out there? I guess AIDS. I don't know. Don't make me run a fucking list of diseases.
MS, is that in there?
I have AIDS piss.
But here's the beauty of it. Your AIDS piss, it'll be so early on that you'll be able to treat it immediately, so you won't have to go through, the full doses of stuff. And your diabetes, you'll just know, like, hey, if you fucking keep going on like this, in another 2 years, you're going to have a diabetic problem. So you'll get to things much earlier.
Now, will it send that data right to the app?
Yeah, I guess it goes right to the app.
That's a feature I was hoping for this. I don't want to just tell me, because I'm going to forget it.
It could probably call your doctor immediately.
Perfect.
And Chris Stanley's thing, it'll just dial 911.
Go now. Go where? The doctor.
They're just going to show up. Listen, your toilet just told us that your shit is off the hook.
Why is this toilet dropping dimes on me?
Jeff in Jacksonville.
Hey, hello. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
I just wanted to comment. The reason, and Gail is totally right, that plumbing probably hasn't changed and never will, simply because all plumbing is based upon the law of gravity. Everything that we do with plumbing, whether it be a sewer system or in your house, works off of gravity. And unless the laws of gravity somehow change, we're not going to be able to do much to change how we do plumbing.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this is the stupid, most asinine question, but we're on the 36th floor, right? Yeah. How's gravity help when I go into the bathroom, I turn the faucet, the water's coming down?
That's right. Well, we have to fight the laws of gravity and pump water upwards. That's why you see water towers in small towns.
Yeah.
They're putting water up in the air, so then the law of gravity can then take over and create pressure for it to come down again. It's the same thing that's happening with you on the 36th floor. We are pumping the water against the gravity, but then we're creating pressure by doing this, which then allows it to come out of your faucet, and then it runs downhill again. It always ends up running downhill eventually. All water does.
And this system is still based on what the Romans were doing.
That's right. All the aqueducts ran downhill. That's why they had to build them high up in the air. They needed to create elevation so it would run downhill and create pressure below.
All right. Thanks, dude.
Thank you. So insightful.
It is insightful, isn't it? Here's Ian in Ottawa.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on all this movement of technology. We're coming up to October 21st, 2015, and that's when Back to the Future had, indicated we're going to be flying around and, holograms and sharks are going to be eating our heads off and shit. And none of that's really happening. So I just want to put that out there.
Ian, I just want to put this to you. It wasn't a documentary. It was a silly comedy. And you're bringing up Back to the Future 2, not even Back to the Future. You're bringing up basically an unwatchable fucking sequel, and everyone's pissed because it all didn't come through.
They didn't really think it out. They just thought, what would be cool? Like, all right, let's get skateboards, make them fucking hover.
They could think about it as long as they wanted to. They fucking were just writers.
It's
they
right.
weren't fucking scientists.
Some futurists wrote this great movie.
Marty McFly corrected that timeline So it went back to this timeline, so all this stuff happened. If we had veered to that other timeline, we would have hoverboards at this point.
Is there another Joe over there?
Probably.
How do I trade for him?
Oh, no. I don't know.
Now, Chris put up a story that you say Mark Cuban invented the hoverboard.
Yeah, Mark Cuban got the guy who the hoverboard meaning what Wiz Khalifa got arrested on the two-wheeled scooter.
Yeah, which isn't a hoverboard. It doesn't hover.
It's just a board.
Cuban is now going to sue everyone who did that because he has teamed up with a guy who had the original plans for the two-wheel, the original patent. Yeah. So now he says, I'm going to sue everyone who's making these hoverboards because he now has basically bought the guy who originally.
So why did you put in your title that he invented it?
Because that's what he's trying to put out there, that he invented it. Now he's going to sue everyone.
He's not the inventor.
If
you
an
buy
investor.
somebody else's invention, it doesn't make you an inventor.
He's a businessman. I probably should have put there, but
he's a businessman. Mark Cuban is a businessman.
Mark Cuban businessman, the hoverboard.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that case of who had it or not, but it seems like, where's his fucking hoverboard then?
He doesn't have one because he just has the guy who has the original plans.
Well, thank God we got somebody fucking making this shit, not just sitting around with plans on the table. What would we do without the two-wheeled hoverboard? Alex, Boston.
Hey, some guy figured out how to use wastewater to create power by putting a turbine in the wastewater pipes, and the wastewater spins it and creates power.
That's a pretty cool idea, I guess.
Where are they using it, Alex?
What's that?
Where are they using it?
I think it's California.
I didn't even know they had water out there. Those poor bastards.
Yeah.
It's all outhouses now. That guy's wrong.
They shouldn't have any wastewater. Just immediately reuse.
If I was Obama, and I might be if I keep working at it, I would change the name from California to Hot Plate because it just seems like a hot plate these days. Rich in Colorado.
Yeah, buddy. Hoverboards need to come out. Look at Tony Hawk's Instagram. Posted about a week ago. You'll see him on a hoverboard on a little half pipe of some sort.
Yeah, I saw this on TV. The problem with it is you can only use that hoverboard if you're on this skate park, which is magnetic.
Right.
And the skate park itself costs tons of money to build. I hate to get technical with you guys, but tons of money.
So many
and the
tons.
ton is 2,000 pounds.
Of money.
So tons.
It only costs them 2,000 then.
No, because it's tons,
Oh.
plural. So at least 4,000 pounds of money.
And if not more.
I guess 4,000 pounds of hundreds. But, and it also didn't look very fun. It didn't look as good as a regular skateboard.
It looked tricky.
No one can use this thing, but they have to. It works for 20 minutes at a time, and they pump it full of like liquid nitrogen because it's to be really cold.
Oh yeah, because I saw that coming. That like it was
The
a
mist
steam
or
runoff.
whatever,
Yeah.
That was just for effect.
Everything should be perfect.
It does look cool.
I'm trying to get some in this room, like a smoke, it's like a whole fucking smoke on the water thing.
That'd be great for our guests.
Yeah, and we bring every one of
Hello?
them.
Is anyone in here?
There's this fucking dry ice, and every guest Chris brings in the smoke on the water. Bum, 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 bum. Just to see how many would just turn around and not do it. John, San Antonio.
Buddies.
Hey.
Hey, what? There's no reason in this day and age why it should still cost you 25, 30 grand to put a swimming pool in your backyard. Everybody with a house should be able to have a pool. You need a body of water, you keep it moving, that's it. But they got pumps and filters and chemicals. I mean, you swim all day as a kid in the lake, in the ocean, in a stream, but you want to put that in your backyard, it's going to cost more than your house.
Well, first of all, I feel sorry for you if the pool costs more than your house. Secondly, you need that stuff so that, I mean, that chlorine and all that shit goes in there. Because if you just leave water in your backyard, you basically end up with a mosquito polio machine.
Ugh.
Want some more West Nile?
I hear good things about the saltwater pools. Seems pretty cool.
From who? The only person, Ernest Hemingway.
No, they're real. Like,
Yeah, I
you
know they're real, but how would that be a good thing?
I think it is better. Like, it's non-toxic. It's kind of self-cleaning. I don't know. I don't
What are you
have the
throwing,
tech.
throwing catfish in there? That's self-cleaning.
You can actually go fishing in your own pool. So fun.
Hey, Lois, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys? Did they test that park with a lot of kids? Because I would think that park would be super dangerous because that hoverboard is going to be like a projectile. If somebody tries to, like, re-land on that thing, it's going to slip from under them and just go flying into some kid's face.
Yeah, I don't even think it moves that well. I don't think it goes flying anywhere.
No, everyone's falling off of it. When, like, Lexus put out that video, people were just falling off of it. They can't even use the thing.
Well, because it's going too slow for them.
It's awful. It's an awful piece of shitty fake technology.
But technology always starts poorly. You know what I mean? Look back, stop tapping around and looking at your computer. Be here man to man. And look at the early planes. Those things were terrible.
Right.
But you wouldn't say, all right, let's give up. We can't make a plane.
These suck.
That thing went from something like a Daredevil would do. Then they put a machine gun on it and started having a war with it. And then people just started flying to see their aunt. In
Why
like
not?
a couple of decades. This is like if all of us like saw Evil Knievel in 77, and then by 97 we were just taking that thing for travel. For travel. Really, if you get into anything, the technology doesn't move the head enough is Daredevil motorcycle jumps.
It should be crazier.
Yeah. It should be just a way now to go and visit relatives.
How are you getting there?
There's a documentary out on Evil Knievel. It's already up on demand. Tony Hawk is in it and all this kind of guys because they all grew up loving him.
Yeah.
Evil Knievel. He was hysterical without ever meaning to be. Seriously, I mean you could have just changed his name from Evil Knievel to Eastbound and Down because it was the same exact story. I met him in Vegas once, and Mitchell Walters was bumming money off of him. So I'm standing there, and Mitchell's like, well, he goes, Evil, how you doing? He starts saying what a good day he was doing. He goes, I haven't seen you in a while. I want to catch up with something. And I just see Evil handing Mitchell Walters. I'm like, here's a guy who was like an idol of mine when I was a kid. And Mitchell Walters is getting goddamn chips off of him. I know. But I'd been up for days straight. So the whole thing, it almost seemed like a hallucination. like just suddenly Evil Knievel's hanging out with you in a bar.
Good to know Evil was good for it, though.
Well, when he's up, he's up. Everybody's going to win with Evil Knievel. Todd, what's up?
Yeah, fireworks have not gotten any better since the 7th century. They still go into the sky and explode into the same circle. Maybe you get a heart.
Well, I couldn't disagree more because now you don't even go near them. You just have to light them. But now a guy with a laptop is doing the whole thing from like 400 yards away.
Yeah.
And those things are all put together with the music and all because it's going through the computer.
And I feel like they have added some more shapes and stuff since I was a
Shapes,
kid.
colors.
Timing, like
Yeah.
they're like something that like waits and then bursts again. I mean, all we had was like circle and then, like Weeping Willow, which
That's
is
always
a
nice.
really,
That's my favorite.
that's the one that everyone goes, ah.
I don't know. I've never seen the end of a fireworks show because I'm like, let's get out of here before the traffic.
But the finale!
Yeah, let's keep going. Here's Ted Sandug. Teddy.
Yo,
Yeah, go ahead, pal. You're on the air.
I'm with you. Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Hey, if you own a property of any size and you're a guy, you should be being outside. I mean, I live in San Diego, right above downtown. I have an 8,000 square foot property, and to save water, I rarely be inside. You should be being outside all the time. What the hell's the matter with you?
Well, I always think it's nice if you have a deck. I think that's what decks are for.
I had a friend who I went to college with, and we went to a party in Brooklyn, and he was from Vermont originally. And after a little bit, everyone has a couple beers. He just goes and walks to the corner and starts pissing in a Brooklyn backyard in the light of day. And these people are like looking at him like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "We're outside." They're like, "We have an 8x8 backyard. This is not a sprawling place.
So
I'm gonna be walking there in 5 minutes."
Everybody in Vermont just pisses outside? That's fucking great, though.
And like, they do it in the bathrooms, like just right there. It's not for any reason, like
Yeah.
someone's in there. They're like, "Why not?"
But even in the daytime, I mean, there's
Oh, yeah.
women around?
Yes. Yes. But it was an entire party of people just being like, "What are you doing?" He wasn't even drunk. We just got there.
Craig in Arkansas.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I'm kind of making the argument that I don't think technology has changed as much as we think it has. I mean, information technology, all the computers and your cell phone and all that have advanced so much that I think it kind of steals the story and says, almost overwhelming. But the infrastructure of the country, the internal combustion engine, I mean, I'm driving around right now there's giant telephone poles holding up power lines. I mean, that's been around for decades.
But here's the thing about the cars is people can't even work on their cars anymore because there's computers in them.
Right.
Like when I was younger, you would always go out and there would just be, in any neighborhood, just hoods up and dudes are just tinkering, and that would be like a pastime.
Yeah.
People just said, "Yeah, come on over. We'll fuck around with my car a little bit." Now, there's something wrong with the car, call a guy. And I'm going to take this away and bring me a new car. The car's a computer now.
Yeah.
The way it drives, the way it acts, it is a computer. You now have driving computers. The telephone has now become a small computer.
And that's why people can hack cars now and control them from outside, just from outside a car. Some guy on a laptop can control a car.
Well, I mean, you're joking about that, but the fucking Google thing is set up to be the computer. The GPS thing that you have now will just be like, "I got it."
Yeah.
You'll just click that in, and off you'll go.
No, some guys actually did that. Some dude was driving a Jeep, and then from their laptop, they stopped his car in the middle of the highway.
It's terrifying.
Who are these dudes?
A couple of hackers. They tested. They just wanted to show everyone how the guy was driving a Jeep down the road, and then they're like, "All right, we're gonna start fucking with him." And they started doing things in the car, controlling the radio, and then they had the car pull over to the side of the road.
When did you hear about this?
It was online. These guys made a video of it and put it online.
How do we know that this isn't a?
It's happened a few other times. These guys are actually able to hack cars.
I think I would know. I would follow this story better if you didn't just keep calling them these guys. If I know what you were up to with this.
These guys.
Here's Andrew. Andrew, how are you?
Hey, guys and girl. The hot air balloon hasn't changed since the 1800s. It's a balloon and a basket, and that's it.
But hold on. Here's what's changed about it. You don't need it now. You know what I mean? It's a horse and buggy. At one point, they thought the hot air balloon was going to be the future of all these different things. But then the aeroplane came along, and you're just like, "Oh, stop fucking working on the balloon. That's stupid." After that one that exploded all over New Jersey on live radio. Yeah, fuck balloons.
This is not good.
Well, you ever see here in the city, the Empire State Building, that was set up for balloons to be able to tie off to the top. That's literally why it's
for.
Yeah.
What?
And they for Zeppelins. And they tried it once. Thing just started spinning around on the top of it. And they're like, "These fucking balloons are uncontrollable." Even now, if you go up in a hot air balloon, like to say, your landing is basically a crash. They just bring it in and you hopefully have a nice soft crash. But it's a crash every fucking time. I had when I was doing radio in Florida, we had the traffic girl, and she was going to fly across the state in the hot air balloon with the dude. I'm not even fucking kidding you. Every time we went to her, she was just screaming the whole fucking time. And we went there on the landing. She was fucking petrified. She was just screaming, "We're crashing, we're crashing."
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's so terrifying.
Yeah. It was fucking hilarious, though. even with that same balloon, we were outside with it, like trying to help tie it off, and they hit the gas a little bit and started picking guys up.
Oh, shit.
Like, guys are holding on to the rope, and I saw guys I worked with start to go off the ground. Like, fuck this. I'm not taking this rope.
Forget it.
You saw what happened to the Wizard of Oz. It wasn't even up to him. That thing started to take off. Fuck it, you're gone. Goodbye, everybody. I'm not taking the little girl.
He didn't seem that upset about it, though.
Nah, he didn't give a shit about anything.
He's like, sorry, bye, guys.
He's just an old whacked out carny. Everything, he just fucking came to a new land and just thought, oh, how can I take advantage of these people? And turn myself into a big bald-headed god. Here's Sloppy in Illinois.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
Hey, the firework technology has definitely changed. I saw a documentary about it. This old guy, he could make fireworks go off in the shape of dragons.
And then what do you do? Stop people's Jeeps? So this guy was talking to these other guys. He stopped this guy's Jeep.
It was a Wired story. It's true. It's real. I didn't make this up. I feel crazy.
You're a Wired fucking announcer. What are you doing on your vacation? How many pills are you going to take over your vacation?
0. I'm going to take 0 pills.
Are you off the pills completely?
Yeah, what? That's bad news. Bad news.
So
Were
what
you
do
a pill
do?
boy?
Is it herb and alcohol?
Yeah, it's herb and alcohol. Keep it simple. From the earth, man. I love when people say that.
Well, you've got that down. There's a lot of things from the earth that can kill you, though. Just know that going into it. The earth isn't this completely safe thing. Here is Rocco. Rocco.
What about kitchen utensils? Those haven't changed. You got the knife, fork, the spoon. Big invention was the spork. And then Chinese people still use chopsticks.
All right. Can I just say this? Rocco's dead on here.
It's
a
true.
fucking fork is a fork.
You're not going to get any better than that.
Yeah. They don't even get nicer. You know?
It's pretty much the same thing.
Have you ever talked to anyone who they hate forks because they hate metal in their mouth? And I'm like, what are you talking about? They go, just sticking metal in your mouth. And I'm like, I never even thought of it that way before.
I kind of feel like I enjoy food less if I'm using plastic.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
It just doesn't feel the same.
It feels cheap ass.
Yeah, it's too light.
Yeah.
I need the weight of a real fork.
It's too light. It's too plasticky.
Yeah.
But that's why they don't use plastic utensils in a nice restaurant. Like, if they give you plastic, you know you're eating in a shithole.
Yeah.
Same way that if you could probably eat the greatest meal in the world, but you did it on a picnic table, you just start grabbing at the food with your fingers. Why don't we just pick up food with our fingers? Why do we act like that's the grossest thing? You eat a sandwich with your hands. Why wouldn't you put your fingers out to eat other foods?
I'm not going to lie. When I'm in the privacy of my home, I do.
Privacy?
Mm-hmm.
Even mashed potatoes?
Probably like maybe towards the end. If we're talking no gravy, then yeah. Not gravy. I'm not an animal.
I'm going to ask you one more time. What about soup? Do you ever just pour the soup?
Too hot. A gazpacho, yes.
Yeah, that fucking soup is as hot as the bathroom floor. Chris got the call back, right?
He loves it.
Got it.
Yeah.
He loved it.
Yeah.
Warm floors.
I got another thing that hasn't changed. And I'm telling you, if it does change, I can't live on this planet anymore.
Okay.
I don't want to live in a world where robots are clipping my nails. I don't trust them. I like that we have
Asians?
just regular clips. We use the emery board. That's got to be all the same. That it's
You
been
would
for
like
very...
to just put your fingers in a box and take it out and they're perfect?
That's really scary to me. I don't know why, but I think about this often, that I'm afraid of a world in which robots will be doing your nails.
What about laser nails? Me and Chris went for the same
You
thing.
guys love laser nails?
Yeah. What's wrong with laser nails?
Mm-mm. No, thank you. I don't know. I'm afraid of my nail beds getting harmed.
What about at least for your toenails? Just let a couple robots get in
No.
on your toenails.
I don't want to. I'm fine with just regular little emery board, nail file.
What do you think? I'll tell you something that has changed more than anything, dogs.
Really?
The fucking dogs that are on the street now. If those things were out when I was a kid, it would have made the newspaper. I never even see half these beasts that I see. I'm like, what is that supposed to be? Fucking half dog, half watermelon? They've gotten weird with dogs.
Yeah, they have gotten weird. They're making the little ones big, the big ones little. They're crisscrossing them all over the place.
That's gonna make you jump. There's these guys that hacked the dog and made it pull off the road.
What?
I heard about that.
It's a Wired story, right?
Yeah.
From Wired magazine.
Hackers remotely kill a Jeep on the highway with me in it.
You?
No, the author of the
Oh,
You said me. I was confused.
Now, so this happened when the guy came walking up. It wasn't like they did this to someone.
They planned it. They did this to show
so
that
that's
it could be
not
done.
a hack.
Well,
a hack is somebody didn't want it done.
Well, they're saying how they could hack, I think. That's what they're saying.
This is an example of what they could do if they wanted to.
All right, so you started this with hackers can do this.
Yeah.
And now we went to it's a setup thing.
Well, they could do it if they wanted to. They could find a guy's car, whatever.
Why wouldn't they want to? They do all this other stupid shit. They think the Ashley Madison thing matters.
They're good hackers.
By the way, I heard that
White hat.
there's been 2 suicides so far.
I know.
But what was it, 30 million names?
Yeah.
I say not too shabby.
Could be worse.
These numbers are acceptable.
And only one person has come out to say that their wife cheated on them or used it.
Oh, I saw that.
The New York Post story. Every other story I think any of us have seen have been like, weren't any women on Ashley Madison. So this guy's wife was the only woman.
First of all, let me just say something about this guy. He's a fucking fagula, and he needs to be slapped in the fucking neck.
It was the most enraged. It was in the New York Post. It was like a profile on this dude who did it anonymously.
I fucking hate him.
It was
but they
enraging.
showed him, and they gave out basically the town that he's from and how much money everyone. And then he calls himself a cuckold.
Oh, God.
In the first 2 sentences.
Yeah, but like a couple people that use the word cuckold, it's like from a positive point of view. It's dudes that are into that.
They want to get cucked. Like he was like, I'm sure he was telling his wife,
and I
find
think,
more guys.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think not only did he even digs the shame of writing this fucking story.
Right. I have to say, though, if I was on Ashley Madison and I read the article that all the other women were fake, I would feel like such shit. Like, I'm the one desperate chick out there? You mean 95% of these women are fake?
First of all, women can get fucking laid at the mall. That's why they don't need Ashley Madison. No matter what they look like. A woman not having sex is completely her choice. Where a man, I don't even give a fuck if it's a rock star. You'll hear a rock star raped somebody. And you're like, really? Still fucking strong. Well, look at this football guys yesterday. And the guy from the Chicago Bulls, the basketball player, Rose, he just got accused of it. You're like, first of all, you're a millionaire. You're in fucking perfect shape. And you're famous. And you still have to resort to fucking rape.
It's the main difference. It's a huge difference between men and women. It's like, I think it's hard to understand from each other's perspective that women could have sex whenever they want, if they want to. Not necessarily the best or like quality, but it's just like it's on the table and men are always trying to find it. And like the biggest example of this was when I was young, a conversation between like a bunch of us about buying condoms.
Yeah.
And for girls, the thought when you're young, obviously when you're adult, who gives a shit? But when you're a kid and you're buying condoms and you're a girl, you feel like the cashier's looking at you like, ugh, this slut, or like you feel slutty. And a guy's feeling is that they're just like, you're not going to have sex.
That's true.
You're such a dork.
That's
You're
really
buying
true.
condoms. No one's going to have sex with you.
That's exactly true. John in Miami.
So, the firewalls, I'm a security expert for the internet, and I wanted to explain how they hacked that Jeep.
The whole thing?
So, the whole thing, right? So, when the old cars used to get serviced, they'd plug a harness in. That's what would let them change the code and update it. If you've been in a Tesla or any of these new cars, there are computers that are always connected to the internet, and they just didn't design this stuff to secure people that didn't belong in there from coming inside. Now they can just go right in, change what they want, and there aren't any firewalls in place in these cars, and they're having to rethink this whole Internet of Things, the buzzword, to figure out how to keep people out. And this is the same thing that happened with Ashley Madison. They had 36 million people on the list, and those people were promised nobody would get in. They never deleted their stuff, and they just weren't ready for this new generation of hackers. And hackers are people that are breaking in ways that the system just wasn't designed to. And there's white hat and there's black hat. The white hat are the good guys. The black hat are the bad guys. Nowadays, nobody's sure who's who. So,
But I don't know if anybody was really sure who was who. I mean, most of the time, if you're riding with, the government, you're considered a good guy. But then you hear fucking bad shit about what the government is doing with information too. So the whole thing that there's good hackers and bad hackers, I don't know.
Yeah, the which government question's big. I was in China recently. They have buildings with 50,000 people hacking all day and getting every piece of information they can from every database that exists. What do you do with that? It's huge.
All right, thanks, John. I don't know what you do with it, but everyone's fucking addresses are out anyway. Everybody's, information is out anyway. Maybe the thing is just to not give a shit, Who cares? Who cares if someone's on Ashley Madison? Who knows what the reason they signed up? Whether it was to have sex or just fucking poke around a little bit. Who knows? Just because they were on there doesn't mean that they even hooked up. And why is it any of your business?
It's the only way, because your internet history, even if you clear it, it's still there. It doesn't matter what you do.
But so what? Who cares where anyone? If I found out Joe went to some fucking weird site, at the end of the day, what would I care? Why would I care if he was on some fucking guy site?
Yeah, that's him. That's what he likes.
David, Mississippi.
Yo, I was calling to defend the football player. Maybe this woman just woke up and I got some bills to pay, and this guy just walked on out after begging me all night. She could just switch the story around and get a little cash.
Well, you never sound. You don't sound like anything but a rapist with this. Obviously, the authorities are going to look into it. There's no doubt about that.
You made her sound pissed from banging her all night.
I always love that excuse. Yes, any crime could be made up. You're right.
Charlie, what's up?
Hello?
Charlie, your fucking phone is just god awful.
Sorry,
Here's
Charlie.
Dave. Dave, what's up?
Yeah, hey, I was just going along with the Jeep thing. I drive one for work, and they just sent us an email to go to the nearest Jeep dealership to get the software upgraded so we didn't get hacked and get crashed and killed. So.
Is it hacked now?
Are you about to make a left-hand turn?
Did you even want to make this call? Did the phone just start working or anything like that? Mikey D just wrote to me and says Scotch tape hasn't changed. Yeah, except for the fact that you never really use it anymore. It used to be used constantly.
Yeah.
The Scotch people must be pissed.
Although I will tell you,
Racist.
you don't go off brand with Scotch tape. I've done it, and it's a mistake. You don't need to get that dollar store.
First of all, I didn't even know there was another brand.
It's not called, because Scotch is the brand, but whatever you would call the tape when it's not Scotch, but that's same.
Irish tape.
It's like terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, Scotch really knows what they're doing.
I can honestly state this. I've never bought Scotch tape in my life. I don't think I've ever been that far away from it, but I've never said, yes, show me the types of tape that you have here. See, I'm going to be using it to tape two papers together. And can I just get a couple little squares? Once I did that, I could just leave. Let me try it on this.
That's all you need. Look, I think most office supplies haven't changed. Like a pen. What have pens really, how have they really changed? Still like a Bic pen. That's fine. Or a stapler. Stapler's not going to get changed. You're just slamming down little pieces of metal between paper.
Okay, stapler, there's going to be a robot stapler, clearly. That's going to get improvement somehow.
It just seems like needing a little piece of metal to hold paper together.
Waste
just
of metal.
seems old. It just seems old. It's always funny, too, to think that there's somebody out there in the staple business, just looking at other staplers. See this shit?
This is unbelievable.
Look at how terrible this is.
We're blowing them out of the water.
Yeah. Look at ours, nice and shiny. Same size as theirs, but we've got a little extra hook.
Now try to bend that. You can bend it, but there is more resistance.
See? Doesn't that drive you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
I guess a comb has never been updated, you know?
Yeah, comb is the same as it.
Comb
would
is a
be like-
comb. And it never worked that good to begin with.
Mm-mm.
Combing your hair is not a sure thing. And yet no one's thought, how can we make a better comb?
They just make like product, I think, to just fix the hair that you can work with the comb. But they're not trying to fix the comb itself. They just make mousse or gel or whatever. I don't know. I don't know anything about hair products.
But you got into it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
We all looked over. We were just sitting there. And like seconds into it, I'm like, he don't know where he's going. He's still talking. Mousse, gel.
What have you?
Sprays. Different type of sprays. Moussey gel.
You know.
I saw this, though. Facebook's going to have their own kind of Siri that's out where you just, because you know how hard it is to type in, so you just tell your Facebook what you want it to do.
That's a shitty name, though. It's just called M. That's it. That's its big thing.
That's
M.
her name is
Yeah.
M?
I don't even know if it's a her or a him.
Some her in my mind.
What would you rather be called? Facey?
Yeah, Facey or Jeff. Some more, you know.
Jeff?
Stacy. Statesbook, she's called.
But the difference between like Siri and M is that it'll be like artificial intelligence like Siri, but they'll also have like a building full of people answering.
No.
Yeah, they are. They have. That's
Well,
like,
first of all,
that's the
Siri,
moment.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So what you were doing is, first of all, did you see how he had?
They're typing.
I'm going to teach you home row. You're going to get a lot more efficient that way.
He's also going to go through a lot of boards because he slams down on that. So they're just going to type you answers.
Yeah.
Instead of using Google.
Yes. It sounds nuts. It sounds like it's going to fail.
But is it used as Google or it's basically operating within Facebook?
It's within Facebook, and it's like Siri. Like you ask it for things.
Right. So you can be
Siri
like, check my ex-boyfriend's relationship status.
Exactly.
Are you sure you want to do that, Gail? Every night, and this seems pathetic.
What did I just say?
Checking his Facebook status. Oh, there's pictures of him.
Show me all my friends who have babies and are married.
Oh, did you see that? Is it up on the iBank today about the little twins, the lying little twins? This is fucking excellent. So they're 18 months old, right? So you think they wouldn't even know. So their mom has like a monitor where she can watch them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So watch this. This is them as like midnight, and they're in their cribs fucking around with each other, right? Now watch this. Turn the sound up, Chris.
It's up. And the computer came and play a YouTube video.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, YouTube's frozen.
I want to see those
great,
babies.
too.
Help
That
me.
was great.
I'm going to start calling you M.
I don't care.
Deny all those Farmville requests, please.
Janice wants to jump in on the Scotch tape.
I was cracking up because you said you don't remember the last time you bought it.
If I ever bought it.
Recently, I discovered I have like 25 rolls of it because I apparently buy it every time I need it.
I need some Scotch tape. While I'm here, I better get some Scotch tape.
You love Scotch tape, Janet.
I'm all ready.
What are you, ripping stuff all the time? Stuff is just coming apart on you?
No, when I pack stuff and wrap stuff, I have it ready for space travel, you know. You gotta have enough tape.
Gotta have enough tape. Need that tape.
It's also good for making that weird pig face.
Ugh. Ain't that pig face.
It's the only use I remember.
Literally makes me hate human beings immediately. What is it just about a turned up nose that is just, it changes the person's entire face?
I think it's not even just the nose, it's the way the upper lip
Oh,
goes
God.
over the top teeth.
That's so
That's
disgusting.
more than-
You just made the most disgusting face. Can't even look at it. You were right. It pulls it up. It makes it more animally.
Yeah.
Look at Chris is still just banging around, so frustrated over the fucking thing.
You should be able to play YouTube videos.
Oh, God.
You would be so much happier with a fucking job where you're just on a computer the whole day. I actually had to say to him earlier, look at me. Look. I'm having a conversation with you.
The other day, a whole family sat down in the restaurant I eat at all the time, and every single one of them was on their computing machine.
Yeah.
Cracked me up.
And the mother's like, eat your sausages. There's brats. Oh. What about your brats? You want to grow up to be a Chicago Bear, don't you? You gotta eat your brats. Every time they go out, give me 2 sausages, 3 hot dogs, and 4 brats. And then scotch tape them together.
I love you guys.
Talk to you later, sweetie.
Okay. Bye.
Love that, Janice.
Oh, adore Janice.
Love Janice.
Sweet Janice.
Dear sweet Janice. Hey, next week we're off, but we put together this Labor Day special. And I say, wait, it's really the work of Mr. Chris Stanley. I want to say this, Dr. Chris Stanley.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
A doctorate's recognized.
Yes. It's honorary, so don't go out and try to use it anywhere. It's an honorary doctorate.
I'm actually a doctor, miss.
But it was comedians in labor. This is comedians talking about their first jobs. And Chris said, do you guys want to hear this? We know, no, let us hear it live. It'll be and God damn it, we laughed our asses off.
Yeah, it was hysterical. I mean, these guys are so funny.
I think it's 28 different comedians. I'll just give you the list real quick. Louis J. Gomez, Joe List, Sarah Tolmach, Tammy Pescatelli, Tom Rhodes, Emma Willman, Judah Freelander, Mike Vecchione, Todd Glass, Tom Segura, Mark Norman, Bert Kreischer, Tommy Pope, Open Mike Eagle, Joe Mackey, Tommy Jonigan, Jason Nash, Rich Voss, Bonnie McFarlane, Gary Goldman, Doug Benson, Chris Gethard, Tony Hale, Derek Gaines, Seth Herzog, and Susie Assman. That's all on one show.
It's huge. It was a ton of fun. And they're hilarious. All
Yeah,
of
it was
them.
the funniest thing. Well, I think First Jobs is actually a pretty funny premise. It's a nightmare for all of us, but all these guys are great. Great storytellers. So we planned on just playing this on Labor Day, but I want you to pick a day next week to play it too, Chris, because, who the hell's going to be listening to their radio on Labor Day? If I felt like, I need the radio today and it was Labor Day, I would just take a brick and start bashing myself in the back of the head till I was dead. Either that or put a boat oar in my mouth and just turn it sideways. No,
God.
I deserve the pain. I deserve that pain.
The state of your teeth.
Stop it.
It's Labor Day! Joe Biden, this was actually, I think it's a story up. This is how fucked up the country is. They claim that if Joe Biden ran today, he would win against anybody in a general election. He would beat Trump, Bush, whatever. This is how far out we are, by the way. That people aren't actually even thinking about what it would be like to have jumping Joe Biden as our president.
It's not even close to the weirdest thing we could have.
Why? What do you think?
I think the weirdest and most appropriate is Trump it up.
I'm finding it less and less weird every day.
It's starting to normalize for you. You're just like, this is what life is like.
I'm starting to think of him as President Trump. I just checked the latest polls on him, and in the polls, he has 97% of the Republican vote.
Just call it now. Why everyone else bother?
This is hilarious.
Just give it to him.
97%. Then the other 16 people are dividing up their 3%. But Biden is already, they say, a stronger candidate than Hillary Clinton. Now, here's the problem that Biden has. Can you be the joke guy for 8 years and then become president?
I don't
You know
know.
what I mean? Like you're the punchline to every joke for 8 years.
Perhaps Trump is opening that up. Maybe he's like making everybody think think of things a little bit different.
Well, yeah. I mean, if any of these two guys can be fucking president, then you should just be able to grab a phone book and pick out a lucky fucking name, and then that person's our president. This is somebody's grandma.
I wish I could remember where, but there's a small town that does that with their mayor. They pick their mayor at random.
I know what that is. It's St. Louis.
Oh, really?
It's a little town.
Strange.
No, I'd never heard that before. Just
Yeah. And then the last...
like jury duty.
Yeah.
You got to be married. You get called upon.
Yeah, the last mayor that they chose happened to be like a 6-year-old boy or a 7-year-old boy. And
That
he's
kid's
just
really fucked up.
mayor now.
It must be a place where a mayor has zero.
Exactly. Yeah, that's their point. They don't really want a mayor, I guess. So they're just, it's a showman.
I think they should pick a female horse and say, "You're our mayor." And then look at the cameras and go like this. Get it?
Uh-huh.
See what I'm doing? It's a Chris Stanley
You get
wordplay
it?
joke.
It was in Minnesota, is where this town was.
Oh, like our own Joey Joe.
Why didn't you know, Joe?
Was it St. Paul?
It was Minneapolis.
What town did you grow up in?
St. Paul.
You're a St. Pauli girl.
Yeah, St. Pauli girl, yeah. That's me.
What part of town?
The east side. East side.
Beast? You're from Beast Side?
Beast side, yep.
How far is that from the river?
Pretty close. So parts of the east side are right on the river.
Oh.
Yeah. But if you're in St. Paul or Minneapolis, you're never too far from the river at any given point.
Well, from any city, you're not that far from the river.
In the grand scheme of things, no.
And by the river, I mean the Bruce Springsteen album. Mary, she got pregnant and busted both her legs.
We had a lot of Sam Goodies where I grew up.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we could buy that anytime.
Sweet. I can't imagine him as a little kid. Probably looked exactly the same as he does now.
Yep.
That was pretty adorable.
Were you?
Yeah, I'll bring in a button of me tomorrow.
A button?
Of me playing soccer. It was my soccer photo. It's a button.
I definitely want you to wear that button.
I'm going to wear it tomorrow. Yeah.
Chris, you got any buttons from when you were little?
No buttons. Not much from the childhood.
Do you have a lot of love in your life when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, you?
They said so, but I didn't feel it. It felt forced and superficial.
He found his birth certificate. It just said accident. Really bad accident on it. I wonder why they kept you.
I don't know. Catholic. My mother was very Catholic.
Was she?
No, yeah. She went to church all the time.
And then didn't teach her kid a fucking simple prayer.
They tried to take me to, was it catechism?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't stick at all.
But you said no, no, no.
Try to take me to catechism.
And I said no, no, no.
I can't fuck around like this. Let's take a break. It's Bennington.
This is Bennington on Raw Dog 99, Sirius XM's Comedy Club.
Bennington, Bennington.
Every morning at 9, you can see him arrive. He smokes a cigar and can shoot out your eye. In Boulder, he shot the sheriff with just a whip, and everybody knows you don't give no lip to Ron.
Bennington, Bennington,
Bennington.
It's Ron.
Nobody seemed to know where Gail called home, shot her way into town with a microphone. The room goes silent when she walks in a bar. She'll kill you with your smile, then she'll steal your car. She's Gail. Bennington. I don't know where Pepper came from. I think they found him in a pond twiddling his thumbs. Smoking a magic pipe he found to get high, and doesn't even need a horse to ride, 'cause it's Pepper.
Bennington, Bennington,
Bennington,
Bennington,
Bennington,
Boy, that's a terrible song by our own Joey Jojo.
Thank you.
It's a great song.
Well, it's a song that the narrator knows nothing about the people. He constantly says no one knows where.
No one knows what this thing's about.
No one has any idea why this is a song.
It's
It is.
purple.
Hey, Brian, Strong Island.
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Hey, you hear about they canceled the final for Mr. Robot because it emulates the shooting from yesterday?
Yeah, well, they didn't cancel it. They're just
going to reschedule.
Reschedule so it doesn't, I don't know how many Mr. Robot fans would be freaked out about that because, there's always gun violence somewhere, but this one just happened to be close. But TV shows have a tendency to worry about such things.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would tie that. I've been watching that stupid show. I can't get off of it, but I don't know how they would tie a reporter getting shot into that show. It makes no sense.
Well, I'm sure it's just like a person gets shot on. That's what it makes it sound like. It does. Some character gets shot while on live TV.
And they haven't done any of that before, right? It's not a very violent show.
Not at all.
Yeah, there was only one violent episode that ended in.
And wasn't most of that dream stuff anyway, or was Heroin Dream?
No, I'm thinking of the trunk. That one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Have a good
No
day, guys.
spoilers.
Yeah. Here's a spoiler. It's his dead dad. He's his own dead dad.
Think so.
I hope that doesn't ruin things for you. Here's the spoiler. I saw Fight Club first.
Don't see it first. It's a sequel to
Yeah.
Mr. Robot.
Don't read the book before you see the movie.
Mm-mm.
Does anyone ever tell you that? Don't read the book before you see the movie, or is that kind of spoiler? Or is it ruined for people?
No, I think usually it's the opposite. They're like, oh, make sure you read the book first, which actually does ruin the movie because then you usually think the movie sucks.
Yeah. You think that the movie is just a collection of scenes rather than a story.
And if you really like the book, you're going to have to cut out a lot of stuff in order to put it into the
Full
length.
characters.
I think the best situation is a novella or a short story made into a movie, because then you're expanding on stuff and you stay within the action of the story.
It's probably why I like so many Dr. Seuss movies.
So
because
good.
they can there's a lot of movement there. A lot of things you can do. I always say don't see the musical before you see the movie. Although now they make the movie first and then they go into the musical.
Right. They'll make that into a music version. Although I have heard, here's a weird spoiler thing that people say, if you're going to see a musical, if you're going to see a Broadway musical, that you should go out and buy the record first and listen to the album and listen to all the songs, because you'll be more likely to enjoy it, because people are more like to be, oh, good, this song, I like this
I know
song.
this song.
Yeah.
I can't stand a Broadway musical, like the entire thing, to sit and listen to, because there's so many songs that are just getting you from one scene.
Right.
You know what I mean? My lucky pen. Getting on the train,
Golly.
getting on the train. You're like, this shouldn't even be a song. We're just moving from one scene to the other. Chris goes to musicals, though.
I found that I like musicals. I like that Les Mis movie, too. And I
Is
like
that right?
Russell Crowe. And everyone shit all over him. I can't tell what's good and bad. I can't tell like their singing voices, but I still enjoy it.
So you don't know whether someone's a good singer or a bad singer.
I thought
That explains why you sing the way you do.
Probably, yeah, it's terrible. But I thought Russell Crowe was great, and everyone just destroyed him. It's Russell Crowe. He's doing fine for Russell Crowe. Get off his ass.
For Russell Crowe. I have to admit, I'm slightly intrigued by the Fun Home. I can't remember the last time I've seen a musical, but I want to see that one.
The Fun Home, that's the name of it?
Fun Home. And that's the one.
lesbian cartoonist?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That little girl was singing a song. She was amazing in it.
Yeah, you showed that to me,
Yeah,
and then from there I started.
From the Tonys. I don't go to musicals, but I always watch the Tony Awards. See what won.
Interesting.
Looks good. Just don't want to sit there and hear all the singing. By the way, we saw Carly, the world famous soccer player.
How's she look?
Well, she looks fantastic, but she's a very serious person, and she was talking about she really wants to work on her headers.
Mhm.
You know, It was just so cute. But here was the most adorable thing. There's a bunch of little girls down there, and they're wearing their soccer uniforms.
Super
they
cute.
came here wearing their soccer uniform.
One
Like, what do
had
you think? A
cleats
game
on.
is going to break out already?
They don't know.
Just wanted you to know that I, too, am a soccer player, as you see by my uniform.
Cleats on?
Ready for a game at any point.
Really enjoyed the talk. I like what you said about headers. Going to start working on mine as well. The Bergen County Tights. That's the team I'm with. I like Harley because when she got the key to the city and the parade here in New York, she goes like this. This was her speech. I'm from South Jersey, so I'm a Philadelphia sports fan. Thank you, everybody.
Just want you to know that I'm not a traitor. I will receive this key.
I don't want to go back to my hometown and get beat up by a bunch of people thinking I'm here for a Mets game.
They forced me into this.
Bam, bam, bam. No, it's stuck in my head.
Catchy.
Vatican. Fuck yeah. I don't know if there's ever been a good musical, but I'm going to be totally honest.
No.
Not fucking Pillar to Post.
Some, I think it's just like anything. Just like they're good and bad movies. There's good and bad musicals.
Yeah, but let's say they're doing, what's The Fiddler on the Roof is back on Broadway, right? Yeah. I only saw it on TV. I've never been to see the live thing. First half, I'm like, this is terrific. Second half, I wanted to kill myself. I'm like, they're still singing, and the songs are getting more and more depressing. And that's how I feel about most musicals. Let me go in and gut some of the stuff out.
Right. Cut it in half.
There's a lot of bad shit in there.
Cut it in half. I think Hedwig and the Angry Inch is good from start to finish.
Well, I never went to see the theater for that.
Right.
I should have. Now I could go over, I guess, catch Tay Diggs in his last 2 weeks.
No thanks.
Here's some comedy news. That Amy Schumer and Jennifer Lawrence, have now taken their friendship, they say, that they're writing a movie together, and it's just going great.
They're having a blast.
They became BFFs and now work friends incredibly quickly.
I just feel like they're getting too carried away. Why not just be buddies and party together?
Let's never be away from each other ever again.
Let's turn this into something for everybody. Sean in Connecticut.
Hey, how you doing, Ronnie?
Good.
My mom got me tickets to see that Rock of Ages musical, and that was the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
It's hard to believe because the movie was so fucking fantastic.
I will not see that movie.
I think it's about as bad as anything could ever be.
It's really...
And there's no logic to it whatsoever. It's supposed to be the 80s, right?
Okay.
And then you have Tom Cruise as this, I don't know, washed up heavy metal superstar. Tom Cruise is like 50, right?
Yeah.
But the movie was in the 80s. Heavy metal had only been around tops.
15 years?
Tops. That's if you're Ozzy.
Right.
Yeah. So Ozzy would have been about 36, 37, and not completely burned out the way Tom Cruise was like if you were a metal star today.
Right.
But they're lost on it.
They were very confused about that.
Sounds like science fiction alternate history.
You actually said, you need to watch this, because I don't want to be the only person who has seen it. You made me sit down and watch it.
It's fucking amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. Jason in Detroit.
Hey, Bennington. The Blues Brothers, greatest musical ever.
All right, I'm going to ask Joe's nodding. Yeah, obviously. But are you really a musical if you use already performed material? Don't you have to have like a Cole Porter, fresh new thing?
Yeah, I think it's its own category, but I think it's unfair to just go with already existing music.
Right.
I think it's a bit of a cheat.
Particularly if those things were hit songs, and then you're bringing these great performers of those hit songs into it.
It's the farthest thing from a musical. Okay, it's a movie about a band. That's what it's a movie about a band that gets back together. It's not a musical. They're not singing their way in the car as they're running from the cops.
Well, see, I would. Here's the deal, though. You could be a rock musical and be something about a band, but I think it has to be all new original songs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Beatlemania is a fair musical, but Tommy by The Who, I would say, okay, that's really a musical, or rock opera, or rockera. Because those were original songs written for that.
That makes a lot more sense.
See me, hear me. I don't know how he sings if he's deaf.
Touch me,
hear me. Do you think it's all right?
Do you think it's all right?
But there was a couple. Jack Nicholson that was just terrible singer.
Yeah.
And I think it's all right. Here's David. David, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ron, I know you're a food guy, and you've given me some great restaurant picks in the past, so I need your advice on something.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I are going to Napa Valley for a wedding. We have a chance to go to the French Laundry. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Sure.
Do we do it, and should we spend money and bite the bullet and do it, or what's your advice for it?
I mean, well, first of all, this is, Thomas Keller has this restaurant. It's considered by many people to be the finest American restaurant. But you're saying bite the bullet.
That's a good point.
Is it really going to break you if you went there for the night? How much do you think it costs for two people?
We've done some research online. I'm taking $1,000 to be safe. It's $300 a person, but then they have add-ons for the menu. So I'm taking $1,000 just to be safe. We're going to have the wine and all that. We don't have kids. We're in our 30s. It wouldn't break us, but it's still $1,000 for one night.
I understand, but by the same token, if you really enjoy food, this is a dinner that you'll probably be talking about for the rest of your life. So it's the same way of, if you're going to the Super Bowl and you're paying $3,500 a ticket, that's not the same as going to a fucking Jets game. You know what I mean? Like, it's up to you on how passionate you are about this dinner.
Yeah, because if you're also the type of person who is not very adventurous with food, I would say definitely don't do that because, if you're doing a taster's menu, it's in somebody else's hand. If that's what you like, then I think it's worth it.
That's what we like. We're adventurous. Ron, you've sent us to Steven Star and some other good restaurants. We're adventurous. We'll eat anything. We're open. I think we're going to go for it.
I mean, Napa Valley also has some other fantastic restaurants.
The Wine Train.
Got one off the top of your head?
Bouchon is out there, and that's, like a sister restaurant to the one you're talking about.
Bouchon,
but
okay.
There are all kinds of great little local places using food right out of that area. So, you might be able to put together, 2-3 meals for the same price that you would spend at one. Here's the thing for me. Since I don't drink, I don't double down.
Right.
And that's what happens when you go and you do the wine tasting or you have some cocktails. It's very expensive.
Sometimes even more so, depending on where you are. If that's what the pairings, it's all about the pairings. It's like more than double of what you would have spent if you were just eating.
So I send people to restaurants all the time, and they go, "Man, I spent $700." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" how did? You, and then I go, "Oh yeah, cocktails." I just don't think that way anymore.
Right.
Here is Ryan in Mississippi. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
I wanted to dispute the Blues Brothers being a musical, because there's one thing I hate more than anything. When people walk down the street and start singing in the middle of a movie, it doesn't make any freaking sense to me. And in the middle of that movie, Aretha Franklin just starts singing in the middle of a diner and choreographed dance numbers with the waitress. There's nothing more musical than people having a normal conversation and bursting out in song. Am I wrong?
Literally what a musical is. You tell the story through song.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and then you suspend your disbelief just like you would with a sci-fi movie or a fantasy movie. It's the same thing.
It's obnoxious, isn't it? How many? You know what? I'd like to sing how I feel about this right now to you. No, I'm not going to do that.
Again, you're being a little on the nose about it. Because there are fantasy sequences. I mean, let's face it, Die Hard is a fucking fantasy.
Right.
Beverly Hills Cop is a fantasy. The world, like, you can't sit there and go, that's shoddy police work.
Right.
Or I don't care if you're a New York cop, you couldn't take that gun on a plane. We all know that. You know what I mean? He can't be flying around with a fucking gun and then just going to L.A. with it. It doesn't mean shit. But you suspend your disbelief.
I'll get it back. But for now,
I'll enjoy
suspension.
this movie for what it is. Ho, ho, ho. Now I have a machine gun.
Damn, that's clever.
Yeah, it was funny. I remember being in the theater. Fuck you, Bruce.
Got yours, Gruber.
And you can't sit around with a black guy and just talk about Twinkies.
Yeah.
And that guy just turns out that he shot a kid.
Got dark.
If I was Bruce, I'd be like, wow. Is there anyone else I could talk to down there without having a fucking kid shooter? How about this? Didn't you notice that he was 8? He had a toy gun. A toy.
You're a terrible cop, is what he should have been saying to him.
I would have just left it a person. I wouldn't even have brought up his job. Now I'm a desk jockey. Oh, the FBI is here, and they're playing it all their way by the book. Is that a bad thing?
They have their
because it
shit.
seemed like they are not shooting kids the way you are. I read about it in the Time magazine. Yeah, I mean, if you're watching any movie, you're like, why haven't the cops showed up yet? This fucking shootout's been going on for 25 minutes. And why aren't they still hunting him? Why haven't they caught up with the bad guy by now? There's T-Rump. They just play his speeches live now.
Yep.
Live. You gotta be proud of him. You gotta be proud of America right now.
He's doing it.
Who we got coming up, Chris?
Oh, we have Mr. Matteo Lane stopping by.
Very nice.
Matteo Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. Is he here right now?
Yeah, he's coming up right now.
He's coming up. What's that mean? I'm coming. Let's see how annoying we can get with this. And then Joe just dances along as he hears each new tune. We've noticed this in the morning that if a song is playing, Joe is gigging. He loves it.
I can't help but dance. I have to dance.
He's a danceman.
Well, you can dance if you want to. You leave your friends behind.
It's happened before.
James in Nevada.
Hey, I just wonder if Blazing Saddles would qualify as a musical.
Yeah, I guess parts of it are. They do sing and stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's more of a comedy, really, though.
It's a mild musical.
Oh, so we should break to catch up because we're a little long then.
Then we should never run long anymore. We'll be back with the very funny Matteo Lane. This is Bennington.
Bennington. Nothing will be the same ever again. Raw Dog 99, Sirius XM's Comedy Club.
Bring it down. Ow, ow, ow. Bring it down. Ow, ow, ow. Time to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Tito's Vodka. The good. The fact that it wins taste tests all over the world. The bad, you haven't had your own Tito's moment yet, where you think of an idea the way Tito Beverage did that changes not only your life, but the life of many other people. And the ugly is my good friend Chris Stanley.
I'm trying to fix that.
Fix what?
The ugliness.
No, it's not ugliness on the outside.
Oh.
It's on the inside.
That's even harder to fix.
On the outside, you're an incredibly handsome man with a standing broad jump of over 7 yards.
I didn't want to talk about that part.
That's because you're ugly about it.
Incredible leg strength.
Gail, what's your favorite thing about Tito's vodka?
For me, I
Yeah.
would say it's the quality. Just quality. Pure quality.
You know,
Taste.
you know what? Up until this point, I was always more about quantity
than
I was quality. Now you've turned me on. I'm about quality. You know, you go over to the Tito's website. Just read the top of what Tito has to say there.
I love Texas, and I love vodka. When you put the two together, you get something oh so wonderful. Texas-made vodka.
Like Texas and vodka. Texas vodka. Look how great Tito is there, sitting up there with his dogs.
Amazing. It's an amazing picture on Tito's vodka.
Here's the other thing. He's become this amazing success, and just look how it looks like the Tito of old. You know what I mean? It doesn't let things change him. If I was in Tito's position right now, you'd probably see me on a gold hoverboard, followed by my crew of rappers and hangers-ons. I'd have white tigers sitting there.
Yeah.
Instead, Tito stays there. Why? He loves Texas and he loves vodka. And he took those two things and now turned it into what I believe to be the most famous vodka in the world. Tito's vodka. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, Tito's vodka. The bad, all the other vodkas out there. And the ugly, my friend Chris Stanley.
But the inside, though, right?
Hmm?
Like the inside of is the ugliness.
Isn't the inside of everyone's body ugly?
Pretty nasty and
Yeah.
slimy.
I would never want to see the inside of anyone's butt. That's when I see if someone gets cut open, I go, I don't even want to look in there. It's too disgusting. That's why I couldn't make it as a doctor. Could not do it. I would always just tell the professor that was teaching me, professor of surgery, I'd say, too gross. Why can't they just take a lap? The good, the bad, the ugly. Tito Beverage, there's 3 dogs there with him. The good, all 3 of those dogs. The bad, cats. The ugly, more cats. Best soundtrack of all time?
By far.
Really? Not even close for you?
Not even close.
Okay.
Better than Rushmore?
Yep.
By the way, it's a different kind of soundtrack, isn't it? You know,
I think it's those are songs. It's more score.
I like to call those song tracks. So, Chris Stanley, explain in a click track exactly what we're trying to say here today.
What we're saying is Tito's handmade vodka is distilled 6 times from 100% corn.
Exactly. That's the good.
It's naturally gluten-free.
That's the bad.
Visit us at titosvodka.com. For
what?
.com.
Okay. That was .com.
.com for recipes, songs, and more. 40% alcohol by volume. Handcrafted to be savored responsibly.
We're back. It's Bennington. And we're very, very excited to have this gentleman stop in here today. Why? Because his career is blowing up right in front of us.
Debatable. It's debatable.
I don't know.
In the last year, dude?
No, yeah, you're right.
You're popping.
Yeah.
Matteo Lane is here today. And you're in town. You're going to be doing your show, Lemonade Stand?
Yeah, there's a monthly show at the Lemonade Stand, at the stand called the Lemonade Stand. It's like a variety show. It's very fun. They've asked me to host it. It's an amazing show, and the stand is like one of the best clubs. So it's 11 p.m. September 30th. It's a Wednesday.
So what kind of variety is there?
I go up and I sing and I, do gay stuff. And then they bring on comedians and they bring on other people and they have a piano player and we sort of go around the audience and I do this thing where we just have the piano player play and then I just sing to people, ask them questions and rip them in half. But because I'm singing, it sounds nice. So, it's great.
Matteo is you're a trained singer.
Yes.
Opera and
opera, and then I did a lot of musical theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I was never in, I sound like that, but it's too embarrassing to actually do musical theater. I can't anyone who sings musical theater out there just walk into the river. I mean, it's too embarrassing. You know what I mean? I sing. Like everyone on Broadway sounds like that.
It's one voice.
Oh, it's so, by the way, what's her name, the soccer player out there?
That's Carly
Lloyd.
Carly Lloyd.
I mean, someone get me that on tape so when I'm having insomnia, I can just listen to her and fall asleep. You won the Women's World Cup and you're going to sit there? Yeah, it was like fun. I'm inspired by women. Say something interesting. Tell me in the locker room. Someone called you a cunt. Do something. Tell me something. We saw you win. We saw you beat Japan. First of all, Japan. Did anyone watch that game?
Yes.
I mean, I know nothing about sports, and for a second I thought, that's really rude. Is American women fighting like the Japanese Special Olympics team? They were so bad. But I've never heard someone more bad. I'm sure she's
the
wonderful.
one who made the shot from like half the field.
And 3 cheers for her.
Yeah.
Someone who can do that. Is that amazing? Let's have something more interesting to say. I mean, I know I'm obnoxious, but it was not boring.
But see, this is the thing. I think she expresses herself
Through
the art.
a white noise machine. I mean, it was like listening to a fog machine. I just have never, if someone who's so good and so talented and so wonderful says something interesting. Good, come in here. Bring her in here. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that. But no, I mean, first of all, I watched that game, amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that was amazing. But I just think you get on, don't you feel compelled when there's something like a radio or a camera to say, hello, like something energetic? I mean, I've never heard, I just said it in the lobby, I thought I'm going to fall asleep. What's the first thing I asked you for?
He wanted coffee.
There you go.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm sorry, we can get back to comedy.
No, I to me that is comedy.
I'm furious. I'm full of rage. I wake up at about a 10.
But I like the fact that you see something that you don't like and you express it immediately.
Oh, I'm getting on stage now, and I don't know. It's a fun kind of rage, but I feel like I'm mad. I'm full of rage, and I get on stage, and I'm just exploding and everything. You know what I mean? Pharmacists, I hate pharmacists.
Yeah.
I hate just anything I can think of. I get on stage, and I just I hate it. I would talk about the things that I hate.
Well, your career's going so great though. You're on TV.
Yeah.
Now and
Still single.
Yeah. You still haven't found anybody?
No.
What's happening?
Although I fell in love with a man in L.A. last week who looks like Thor.
Thor.
He looks like fucking Thor. And we went skinny dipping at Santa Monica Beach.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm not used to the beach in L.A., so I'm from Chicago. If you go to the beach in Chicago when it's closed, you get arrested. And so there's this giant beach, and so I felt like I was sneaking onto the beach, and then there was another couple there, and I was like, are we going to get in trouble for being on the beach? She's like, no, it's the beach. I'm like, oh, I'm from Chicago. Never mind. Sorry. I just assume I'll get arrested for any moment. But I'm sorry, yeah.
So you're out there with Thor. Both
yes.
of you decided to take your clothes off and go into the water.
Yes.
And you're still single.
Yeah, I mean, we had this it's like a 3-day love affair, and then now I'm back in New York, and he's in LA still. So what the hell? I didn't know you worked here. Sorry for the listeners at home.
That's
Mariah Carey just came and got me my coffee. That'd be great. She just strolled in. And then, I'm furious about Mariah.
Yeah.
Anyone who's listening, we've given her too many chances. I've had enough of her. She's 45, wearing a quinceañera dress. She drinks too much. It's like, she's lip sync. I'm so mad at her.
Is she really lip syncing though?
Oh, yeah. Anything above like a D5, and if you're listening, you know this is true. She in We Belong Together, the last part of the song, she's never sang it live. Maybe once.
Really?
She can still sing, but she just so
yeah, she likes it.
Allegedly.
Right.
She seems very relaxed all the time.
Well,
She's in a very relaxed
She looks like a moving cloud.
She always lies.
Oh,
like
you can't get her vertical.
Yeah, she has that cat thing where she's just laying down in the interview.
Did you ever see her cribs? Her cribs, she actually said that she has a bed in every room of the house.
Yeah.
So she has a bed in the bathroom. And she was showing it off, like, here's my kitchen bed, and they prepare me food. I just love to lounge.
Yeah, I mean, it's
well,
too
and in
much.
her defense, though, if she stands up, her nose bleeds. So I don't even know why that is, but I'd have it checked out.
Safety
You know what
precaution.
though? Here's the thing. I get it. She paid her dues. She's the #1 selling female artist of all time. Fine, let her be a little sleepy sleeps, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm still just mad because it's like I think she just change your dress better. Just dress better. Just dress better. You are not 12. You're not 12.
Well, she always wants to accentuate the tits, no matter what is
And
happening.
we've seen them for the past 20 years. We're not shocked by them. We've seen them. Would it kill her to put on a sundress? I mean, would it kill her to put on anything? I am. I'm just full of rage.
You are about things that most people just would allow
Give a
go
shit
by.
about.
Yeah, yeah.
Give a shit about. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's part of, maybe that's being a comedian. I'm wrong. I'm mad at the wrong things.
I think it's funny though because you've talked so many times about not being able to find someone. Now you find this perfect Thor.
But he lives
Beautiful
in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So why aren't you thinking about maybe a Los Angeles?
Well, I
move?
probably
Go to him.
I probably have to move to
Go to
LA within a year. There's some things happening.
I'm sure.
So, but you know, I don't know. You know what the thing is? I have an inferiority complex, so I think that every man is better than me. So I don't know how. Like in that case, like I knew I was going back to New York, so I had 3 days to be very impressive, and I was in a nice hotel and all that. But it's like. I don't know. I don't know where that goes after this.
So you were out in L.A. Why? What were you doing?
I shot Jimmy Kimmel Live,
Wow.
which I'm not really supposed to say, but everyone just keep it a secret.
Sure.
Because it hasn't aired yet. I think it airs next week.
How did it go for you though?
Great.
So, and did you take Thor with you?
No, I didn't.
See, that would have been perfect.
See, I had actually Anthony Jeselnik came with to hang out, and Lisa Treger, and so they were in my green room, and we just hung out. You know.
Did you have nerves before, or were you
Not really.
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, I'm a huge Stern fan, so Jimmy and I talked about Eric the actor for like 10 minutes.
That's pretty cool. Though.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
you felt okay. It's time. This is a show I should be doing.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
felt good.
that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
But did it feel different than doing a normal Saturday
Well,
club?
I mean, I couldn't call people faggot and say you're a piece of shit, Mariah, what the fuck's your problem, and, all that stuff. But, yeah, I mean, it felt kind of the same. I actually so whenever I dress, I don't know how to dress myself. Right now I'm dressed like Katie Lane, but I normally, I needed to get, I was like, I gotta go on TV, so I went to this place. I went to Top Shop at the Grove in Los Angeles, and they have a house stylist who will give you a private room and show you how to dress. And his name was Davide, and he was from Italy, so we only spoke in Italian to each other. And while he's like showing me what clothes to wear, he's also showing me on Instagram where the best pizza is to eat, what the best carbonara is in New York. Very cool. It was like everything about it was a great experience.
That's cool, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people they'll get a shot like that and they worry through it, but you went out and enjoyed the entire trip. That's what's kind of great.
Yeah,
man.
I did yell at the audience at one point
Mhm.
because I was like, "I'm proud. I'm out and proud," and everyone just stared at me. I was like, "All right, you're not proud, but no big deal." And then they all started clapping. I was like, "Don't clap now!" What the hell?
Yeah, LA audiences would rather clap than laugh.
Then laugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got. Yeah, it was good. I find I did a lot of shows in LA last week, and there is a difference between LA and New York.
Yeah.
Just like the feel of comedy, I think in New York and LA. I don't know, just something.
Well, I know that a lot of LA comics come here and they either don't like it or they're somewhat intimidated. See, I think a lot of the ball busting that takes place in New York hurts their feelings immediately.
Yeah.
So they'll get out here and they're all like, does Norton have a problem with me? And I go, no, I don't think so.
But there's great shows like Meltdown is an
Yeah.
amazing show. Hot Tub, I've never done
Yeah.
Hot Tub. Like Put Your Hands Together. There's a shit ton of great shows out there.
Yeah.
And really good comics.
And well, it's just been going that way too in the last couple of years, right? Where they're stepping out. Who was saying even the store is making a
Yeah,
real comeback?
I've been to the store once to watch a roast battle.
Yeah.
I'm doing a roast battle against Drew Michael. Do you know who he is?
No.
He's, an amazing comedian. I might be a little out of control, but he's great. And it's at the Stand. Jeff Ross is now having.
I know that the Stand is doing that. They did some the other night. Do you like those though? Do you like the premise of it? Or?
I think it's fun if it's against someone you're friends with, and I'm friends with
Okay.
Drew. I've just never done a roast before, so like I'm I don't know. I got to write roast jokes. I mean, most of my roasts are like, Mariah, I can't make any roast jokes. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't know.
The thing about a roast thing is if you don't really feel it, then why say it? That's the thing.
Right.
I don't know why
I have a lot of hatred towards Drew, but I love him. He's one of my best friends. But this will be easy.
There's a lot of things that you can say.
Yeah, of course. He's as much of an easy target as I am. He's probably even more of an easy target. So, it's like, and that's the thing with me. It's like, well, what are the jokes we're going to hear? We're going to hear the gay jokes. We're going to hear the, like, fisting, anal, faggot. Like, we'll hear everything. You know what I mean? It's like, thank God I went through middle school, so I'm prepared for this. Thank God. Yeah.
So you really did get all that kind of stuff when you were a kid?
Yeah, I think everyone is just innately, when you're, I was just, even though I was closeted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just haven't found the right girl yet. I worked at Michael's Arts and Crafts, for God's sakes.
Right.
I'm obviously a homosexual. I even dated a girl there. Her name was Francesca, and I broke up with her in the yarn section. But,
the yarn section.
But yeah, I think everyone knew, what I mean? I'm mincing and prancing, and it's, I think everyone just,
It's that Ducky syndrome. You know what I mean? Where Ducky's the only one who didn't think that he was gay, and even years after that movie came out, he was like, wait, did everyone think that Ducky was gay?
I can't believe that wasn't the end of the movie.
Right.
That should have been the end of the movie as Ducky comes out.
Yeah, Pretty in Pink.
Well, I feel like Jafar should have come out. I mean, there's a lot of people at the end of the movie who should have came out of the closet. You know what I'm saying?
I never really thought of it. Jafar is gay as the day is long.
Jafar, he's got camel toe. Look, every scene is there. But everyone should have come out of the closet. Everyone. Yeah. I don't know. I used to really get bothered when I got called a faggot and stuff, but now I listened to this podcast called PNS Explosion, and it's 3 gay men, and they just let everyone have it.
Right.
And the way that they healed themselves from being called that is when gay people call on the show. Like, let's say someone gay calls in and they'll be like, "Hey guys, just want to let you know that I'm a bicycle instructor." They go, "Faggot!" Just because we're so used to hearing that all the time, melted away the pain. I'm sure some people listening are not agreeing with it, but who gives a shit?
Well, that used to be Fez. Fez had a terrible
I know
time.
when I came on the show, and I said it like probably 4 times.
Right.
But I'm gay, and it's my right, however I want to use it.
But it would hit him literally in the chest every single time.
It used to be like that for me. I mean, I had to find a way to make myself comfortable with it, you know, because so many times, I remember I was like 18 and I just wearing a tank top, a car literally pulled up, rolled the window down, and everyone in the car screamed, "Faggot, you fucking faggot," and then drove away, and I thought, I'm wearing it's just a green shirt. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what am I wearing, a boa? It's like, I just couldn't believe that. Literally rolled the window down. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, that's tepid. The shit I got in high school and stuff. So finally, when I went to college, I went to an art school, and I feel like if you don't tell them you're gay, you don't get a diploma.
Right.
So, I found myself that way. And then obviously through stand-up comedy, it's great. It's healing.
So, but it did hurt you for
the
years.
pain, very much so. But I am that kind of person where I have to find a way to make it funny and talk about it. Otherwise, I'll still be terrified. My older brother's also gay, so my dad's real proud. And when he came out, he was older. He was very quiet about it. And I come from an Italian family. We all live on the same, not even just the same city, the same block, and we're all together and this and that. And when he came out, he was so quiet about it. The family was quiet about it. So I thought, I'm not going to do that. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it and make jokes about it and laugh about it. And, my cousin who's also gay, everyone in my fucking family's gay. We call ourselves sisters, just to make our aunts and uncles and parents comfortable. And now we work so hard at it that it's at a point now where it is totally normal. So everyone can joke and laugh, and that's how we deal with stuff, So when I say stuff like that, it's subconsciously me saying, this is me just dealing with it. Every gay person grew up, and we all act like we didn't go through some deep shit trauma growing up and think everything's gonna be fine. Everything's not gonna be fine. So I don't mind going out and being, I don't know, sort of out there.
But you say everything's not going to be fine.
Yeah, that's just my. It gets better. Debatable. Remember Obama made an "It Gets Better" video?
Yeah.
I was like, ugh, we've gone too far.
Yeah.
I think that it makes gay people so fucking fast though because of it. Like my gay friends are the funniest fucking people I know, and I think that's because they kind of had this idea of being hurtful.
Right.
It made them be so quick. You know what I mean? Like
Because
you cannot say.
because you're in that. It's like being a sword fighter where you do it every day. You're going to get better.
I'm
at
like, I can't even tease any of my gay friends. Like, if I make a joke on them.
Oh,
like,
we
they
could
just,
find a way. Let me see all their
crush you
outfits.
down.
We'll find a way.
Bring Matteo with you.
Yeah, bring me with you. I'll let him have it. No, I often, and I actually don't, sometimes in gay rooms I don't do very well. There's because everyone's like, we hear it at brunch. You know what I mean? Like, where's Kathy Griffin? They don't give a shit. So, depends.
I always, I bring this up all the time too. I don't think that gay audiences are that supportive of gay performers. Like, for some reason, they would all show up to see, I don't know,
Margaret Cho, Joan Rivers, Ellen, Kathy Griffin, women. They show up, Joan, the ghost of Joan Crawford. They line up around the block.
It's amazing, yeah. And then Rufus Wainwright is the greatest singer and performer in the country. And I went to town hall, and I thought there would be a giant gay audience, and it was the minority.
Yeah.
Were gay people, and I'm like, this is a performer that you should be holding
Gays,
up.
I love now the new thing is to like look like you're on steroids and wear Speedos and take half naked pictures of yourself on Instagram, and then you're just which I don't understand that life. I wish right now I look like a used tampon, but I wish that I had that. I wish that I was this sexy fucking sex symbol and just like naked at a pool and just taking pictures and getting thousands of likes on Instagram and all this stuff. And then I realize, but then that's my life. Like, how boring. Then my life becomes consumed with looking good and doing these parties, and none of them are fun. It's like, but I'm so jealous. I wish that I looked like that.
But there's a shelf life to that too. That doesn't
I'll
last
live
forever.
it. Fine. I don't give a shit. I'll do it. I will do it. But I can't, I always think of myself like, someone will love me for me, but not when you're gay. So, I wish I looked like that though. There's so many, I can't even look at Instagram because it gives me an anxiety attack. Instagram, by the way, is just softcore porn at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest accounts are just chicks and
big butts.
Yeah, giant
butts. Butt.
The giant ass thing is just taking over the entire world.
It's just taking over everything. And I sing, I draw, I can do comedy. Everyone's like, but do you have like a really huge ass? And are you like by a pool? Oh, that's interesting. The most I get is like people like, are you like a really like good looking deli worker? Okay. Thanks for the support.
Did you see the Chelsea Handler Instagram pic today? It's up on the iBang. She's tits out a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
Which
does.
I have a picture of my ass out in one of my.
But this is her with just a tiny green apple over her vagina.
She looks like a sexy version of Charlize Theron in Monster. Do you know what I mean? Just because of the hair, but she looks great. I love Chelsea because she does shit like this. She doesn't give a shit, and now no one's going to be able to like take a picture of her naked that she sent to someone and be like, look, Chelsea Handler naked. She's like, yeah, I've already done it myself.
Tiny little hips.
She's sexy.
Yeah.
She looks great. I'd do her. Can you imagine me trying to please a woman? I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I don't even know. I think I have a good idea of what it takes to make a woman to come. I feel like you have to look them directly in the eyes and have like either like a paid mortgage above them or like a 401k and like maybe like a ring.
That's
and
it.
Then they
That's
come.
it. You figured it out.
Right?
Yeah,
Isn't that it?
everything, Gail?
See, straight men.
Can learn something today.
Yeah. Gain money and power. and you'll suddenly become.
Yeah. Anything. Yeah.
Matteo Lane's in with us. There's new episodes of Girl Code that air Mondays after Teen Wolf on MTV2. And then,
I follow Teen Wolf, guys.
Yeah. And then the Lemonade Stand is happening Wednesday, September 30th at the Stand in New York City. And on Twitter, he's at Matteo Lane.
Matteolane, because people think it's the Latin way.
Oh, is that right?
But it's the Italiano way.
Yeah.
Gail, your name is misspelled all the time, too.
Yeah.
How do they spell it?
Mine is Gail, but I get the Y, the gay.
Yep.
I get the gay.
The Gail. The Gail.
I got called Potato at Starbucks once. So.
Potato. It's a beautiful name.
Isn't that crazy? I literally went up and was like, Mateo. She turned around, she made me a drink, she came back and said potato. Which to me, I'm like, did she think that I confidently told her, I'd like a Grande Americana, please? Potato. What a ridiculous woman.
If your name was Potato, you'd just make something up.
Oh, yeah. If my name was Potato, I'd rather go by like Sky or something weird. Yeah. I don't know.
I think this should be your new Instagram, just putting a...
Do you want me to do the same picture of Chelsea Handler
just,
tonight with like a single lemon or a lime in front of my vagina?
Yeah. Why you keep your bra on?
I could find a bra. She looks much better than me. Actually, I'm more fascinated. This is how gay I am. I'm like, wow, she must be in a really nice hotel.
I know, it is pretty...
bathtub.
Yeah. It's a pretty fantastic bathroom lined up there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe that's her even her own home, which, she does well.
She does well for herself.
Yeah, maybe she does, maybe that's her house.
She knows she's hot, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, she's good
I think
looking.
she gets it.
What is she, in her 40s? Late 30s or 40s?
Mid-40s, I think. But she likes to party, and she puts out pics. She enjoys her life. I think she's coming next to Netflix, isn't it?
Netflix will be her new thing, yeah.
I was surprised when she left E! Because it was so successful.
I mean, she must have been getting... so much goddamn money over there. And that show is such a good show. I only wish that I had been like big enough to be a guest panel on that show, but I had no credits by the time.
Well, she used a lot of comics too.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll be doing the same thing at Netflix.
Yeah. She was always good to comedians, I think. Yeah.
Well, then you get to sit back a little bit and say, go ahead. What do you think, Matteo? And then you sit back.
I would have been furious.
Let you roll.
So mad. I know. I don't know what. You know what it is? It's my aunts. I grew up with a bunch of aunts who are like that. They're just like these fiery Italian women. Actually, well, we're part Mexican too. So my aunt Cindy looks like a Mexican cleaning woman. But it's just like this Latin blood. I think that you just become on fire when you. I don't know. Like that's the humor in it. I love sitting and listening to my aunts just go off on anything. They're very funny women.
Well, that's the difference I think between women and men too is like women keep it to in their circle.
Right.
Where a man feels like I'm going to stand up in the middle of the party because people go, why aren't women funny? And all you got to do is hang around with them. Like any sisters, when they're together, they crush.
Yeah.
They crush.
No one is funnier to me than my Aunt Cindy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I think, I also think going back to the gay thing, like gays who are very, 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 very funny, there's something about the world of stand-up that intimidates, I think at least gay men a lot because it's like they've already fought their entire lives going through this sort of locker room feeling. Right. So why subject yourself back to it? There was a gay comedian here in New York when I first got to New York. The first thing he told me was, don't go to the straight rooms, stay in the gay rooms, and they'll pigeonhole you, you'll never make it. So the next day I left and went straight to the Creek and the Cave and did the exact opposite that he said. But I think there is, not everyone, and there's a few of us doing it. There's a few of us making it, like John Early is a perfect example, James Adomian, Guy Branum, Frank Liotti. There's a group of gay comedians that you see in this like absolute dominated male world.
Right. But some can pass as straight, right?
Right,
Some guys,
we're all very different. Like James Adomian, you wouldn't know until he has to tell you.
He literally does. It's true. And like he's doing all these things and then he'll just bring up something and you'll see everyone in the room go, huh?
I get that a lot, guys. I gotta, and it takes about 5 minutes for me to convince that audience that I am not into pussy. It takes a long time. Yeah. Actually, I just co-headlined with Lisa Treger and at Hilarities a couple weekends ago in Cleveland. And we were walking around, a lot of people were like, "How long have you two been together?" And Lisa kept being like, "What do you think what's wrong with you? Like, how stupid are you? Look at him." It's like,
hey, she's got a half-hour comedy
just
special.
came out last week. She killed it.
Yeah, that's great.
Killed it. Lisa absolutely destroyed.
That's fantastic.
Killed it. Yeah. She's so talented.
Well, I met all you guys at the same time.
Mhm.
All these, and everybody, I was just bringing this up to somebody the other day. Everybody who was in that contest is really, really taking off. And I remember saying to the other judges, I'm like, are we fucking videotaping this? I go, this thing, in 10 years from now, this is going to look like a fucking who's who of comedy. It's amazing how strong.
It is weird to think today is my exact 3-year anniversary of living in New York City.
Wow.
And it's shocking to me because it's like I just did Jimmy Kimmel the other night and on Girl Code and I got all this, stuff happening. And it's like 3 years ago, I knew no one. I had no friends in the city, and I went to an open mic on a pouring, rainy night somewhere in Murray Hill and did like 2 minutes and just totally bombed. It's just crazy to think what happened in 3 years.
Were you doing comedy in Chicago, though?
Just for 7 months.
Yeah. So, yeah, you just come here. And first of all, always amazing to me, like the bravery that it takes to come to New York, to know no one, and then say, oh, by the way, I have these dreams, so let me put them out in front of everyone.
Yeah.
It's kind of outrageous.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I just don't know how, I just look back and think about the amount of work that I put in. Like the open mics and the grind. It's just like, at the time I had a day job, so I was illustrating television commercials. So I would get to work at 9 and I would leave work at 6 and I would have friends sign me up at open mics and then I would be at open mics till about 12 o'clock at night. And then I would do the same thing the next day. And every Saturday, every Sunday, open mics. So it wasn't even, I never had gay friends, a gay life, none of it. I just was consumed by comedy. And then little by little, things start to happen. And then, I don't know, then I went to Montreal and that helped a lot. It just was like I really think, and I quit my day job and all this other time, traveling all the time. I mean, it's crazy.
Was it nerve-wracking to quit your day job, or did you feel like you were ready?
Oh, I was definitely ready, because I remember, like, I kept taking off a shit ton of work, because I was filming Guy Code and joking off at the same time. So I had, even just like in November, I had missed probably 2.5 weeks of work. And but my boss knew, like, he knew what was coming. And then finally January came and I looked at my schedule for February and I just looked at him and I said, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I can't fight this anymore. You know what I mean? I am absolutely done. And that's when Anthony Jeselnik asked me to come out on the road with him and open for him. And I was like, well, I'm not going to say no to him.
Right.
And so I literally turned to my boss and I was like, sorry, Anthony Jeselnik wants me to open for him. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And then it was great. I mean, I have been just fine and busy as fuck.
Well, when normally comedians are doing comedy for a couple of years, they don't even get to meet Anthony Jeselnik. Somebody who's that far along. So let alone to have him say, come on out with me. That really is a life changer,
And he has been, I mean, I know people like his persona on stage and stuff. I'm sure, I don't know how he would feel, but he really is just a great great guy. No question. I mean, just nice, caring.
Well, it's funny because he's come in and done the show, and I think that he's really great. But I remember thinking, how am I going to like him as he came through the door? Is he going to come in and be an asshole? And it would never even dawn on me to think that way again. But I can understand why people would.
Sure.
I mean, I could see why people would be a little defensive.
But also, I think he gets away with a lot of it because he's so fucking good looking.
Yeah.
I mean, good looking people can do anything. I mean, he's just so good. I mean, that's what I think. I think if you're good looking, you're fine. You know what I mean? There's so many assholes we keep around because, like, well, they look great. Like all the Kardashians. I mean, if they look like that thing from, remember that movie Mask with Cher?
Yeah.
It's like if any of them had that weird fucked up head disease, we would be like, get away from us. But, they look great. So we keep them around. That's the thing about Kim Kardashian too. I always say I want to hate her. And then I watch her on that show. I'm like, she's a nice girl. I say that all the time. Like, she's a really nice girl. I like her a lot. I mean, I'm buying into it, aren't I?
Well,
Kanye I can't stand.
Well, I saw her do one of the shows this week, and she was giving credit to Kanye for everything. She said Kanye changed her style. Kanye came up with the idea for a book, and she basically said Kanye's teaching her about fashion, about
That's
music,
so disturbing.
about art.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice
it's
to hear
normally like
a cuckoo.
Yeah, but
I mean, Kanye West had the balls to get, well, maybe not balls, but he came out and said that he is the next Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Michelangelo, I mean, Michelangelo, he did more in his life before he reached 19 that you could do if you lived to be 500, you son of a bitch. Michelangelo, Da Vinci, this is who you, I mean, what's wrong with you? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? Who would compare themselves to Michelangelo?
Leather sweatpants. I mean, that's what he did.
Oh, that's right.
He
made
did.
a pleather he made a pleather skirt. Got it.
He turned Kim
Michelangelo made
Kardashian.
David, and then we're gonna say, well, he made a pleather skirt and married a reality star. I mean, come on, guys, it's right there.
And then he
I'm
turned
gonna
Kim
get
into
so
a
much
Barbie
shit.
doll. Like, it was just like, I'm going to dress you from now on.
But I like
This is
Kim.
bizarre.
She's, am I gonna get shit for this?
No.
Am I gonna get
No.
blackballed?
No.
Like Joan Rivers on the Tonight Show.
Well, the thing is, I think blackballed, crossed the line because everyone's going, is he talking about
Well,
Kanye's
blackball is
nuts?
also my dating life. So
Not
I am
blue balls.
if you are a sexy, Latino or black man, just please marry me. Just take me away.
Is that what you're looking for first of all?
I always go for like swarthy, like Mediterranean, Latino, black.
But then you were
blonde,
just
blue
with-
eyes, always like.
but you were with
I know,
Thor.
but that's the thing. Is the
Yeah.
one guy I'm like,
Yeah.
Thor looks fucking like Thor.
Now now that you're away from him, are you still going to be like checking his Facebook, checking his Instagram?
No, we've
to see-
been Snapchatting each other
Oh.
because I'm a 13-year-old girl.
Very mature.
But we've been, I'm trying to get into Snapchatting, which
Yeah.
I still don't get it. I still don't get it. But I'm trying my best.
It's bizarre because it all disappears, but then you
I know, but then
Does
people
it-
can take pictures of it. But he's sending. I would marry him. I'd marry him. Right now, I'd marry him. Get a fucking priest. Or what, I mean, I guess not a priest. 'Cause they're Catholic.
He's not going to do that for you.
They're not going to
It's
do
not going to
that.
I
happen.
love how gays, are priests. Like the Pope was like against gays adopting. I'm like, you can't make any comments against gay people when you're wearing a fucking dress. You are out. You're a grown man wearing a dress, hanging out with other grown men wearing dresses with no women around, walking around looking at a bunch of phallic symbols. I mean,
I think it's amazing almost now, like, if you see Elton John, he looks like he could be the Pope. They look kind of the same, and they're like from the same era.
Same aesthetic.
Yeah, I think like Catholics are just saying we need an older gay man to lead us.
that's pretty much what they've been doing.
Yeah,
Do you know what
forever.
I had an Uber driver telling me that I was going to go to hell, and
Oh my
he's studying to be a pastor. Which I was always like, nice congregation in your Honda Accord. But, he was telling me that, this is what he said. He goes, well, because I said, do you think you're born gay? And he goes, well, I think you're born gay the same way that quadriplegics are born that way. It wasn't God's intention, but you're still here. And so I said, okay, it gets worse. So I say, all right. I was like, and of course, like, Grindr wasn't working. I bored him in traffic. So I'm like, I'll keep this going. And I said to him, I was like, well, then what? So you think you're born gay? If you're born gay, then then that's the way you're made. He goes, well, you can be born gay, but you just can't act on it. The act of homosexuality is the sin. And I literally said to him, I said, okay, I've had anal sex before, but I've also bought every Barbra Streisand CD known to man. And frankly, I don't know which one's gayer. Which one of those are going to send me to hell? And then he said it's all based on lust. And he goes, it's lust. You have to fight lust. Like if I see a beautiful 14-year-old girl,
Yikes.
I know, I know that she's beautiful, but Jesus wouldn't like it or whatever. And I was like, okay, if I'm a 29-year-old gay man and I'm going to have sex with another 29-year-old gay man, preferably black, that's my right. You are a pedophile. It was and then, I still tipped him.
Did you give him 5 stars, though?
No, I gave him 1 star. His name was Chris. He was a piece and he's in Chicago. And if you're listening to me, you're an idiot.
Well, if he got 1 star, he's probably already done at Uber. They're all complaining about that. If someone gives them bad stars, now I feel like I need to, just to see what happens. I have a power now that I never had before. 1 star.
1
for you.
star.
For no reason.
Yeah.
It's like me being a serial killer. I'll just go out and give 1 stars to nice people, no matter what they do.
I mean, Jennifer Lopez is used to 1 stars, but that's just her movies. Zing. Okay.
You a J-Lo fan? Or...
No, are you out of your mind? She's another one that I watch her and I think, what a fun girl.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, she can't sing. That's my biggest issue, is just singers not singing today. That's it. That's my biggest issue. I don't mind, like Rihanna, I like, because I don't think Rihanna ever pretended that she could sing, and her whole thing is like, I'm just gonna look real hot and go smoke pot. Ariana Grande, I'm not sure I get it. I know she's a singer, but the diction, I mean, there's no diction there.
Yeah.
It's just, I was like, that's great, So I just diction, just use diction.
She loves vowels.
She loves she could sing the A-I-E-O-U all day long. Yeah, I mean, I just wish that, because I said to someone the other day, I was like, why has it been 20, 30 years since we've heard anyone who sounds like Whitney Houston? I mean, do you remember Whitney Houston? Do you remember? And I always say, remember Beyonce at the Super Bowl a couple years ago? She had lights and fireworks and dancers and this and tricks and da-da-da. It was this whole thing. I thought, compare that to Whitney Houston and just a microphone. And she can achieve the same thing.
Yeah.
Remember her at the national anthem? Whitney Houston
in Tampa,
anthem?
yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, so it's like, I just, I know I'm like an old queen at this point, like, where are the gays? But like, where are the good singers anymore? Adele's good, Jessie J's good, but like, I don't know, maybe music's just, I think it's more about producers now.
It's certainly about producers, and they got this idea of, producing perfection and making the studio the art. But if you really go back in terms of singing, most of it was always live.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it used to be, let's try to capture the live sound. That happened probably until the late 80s, where the whole idea of making a record was, let's take the excitement this person has and see if we just can't grab some of it. And now they go in the opposite direction of let's create something that never existed.
I kind of miss when artists were just a work in progress.
Yeah.
Do you know, I mean, everyone comes out with, like, I saw this girl perform the other day. I don't want to say the name of the band, but like, I mean, this is her first single, and she has this look, and she's dancing, and the way she moves, and this and that. I'm like, and it's so the music and this, and I'm like, what happened to a work in progress where there were so many young stars out there who were, you saw the talent and potential and you grew with them. But I don't think there's any growing anymore. They're so already ready to go. That's why the turnover is so quickly, because no one feels like they're growing with their favorite artists anymore.
I never really even heard anybody talk about that before. Yeah. That's really, really interesting, because it used to, change in front of you. Dolly Parton, when she came in, was like this overweight housewife.
Right.
And eventually got to the star, Dolly Parton.
Right. But even as, who she used to be, there was still people recognized talent.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to really show my true colors, but Barbra Streisand, when she first came out, she wasn't what we saw today. She was wearing men's clothing, Egyptian eye makeup, purple lipstick, singing in like basements, and singing old jazz standards, and literally worked for baked potatoes. And now she's, this whole obnoxious thing. But it's like, wow, what a
she went and
transition.
earned that. Yeah, she went and earned that kind of stardom, earned that spot.
Right.
That's kind of an interesting point, man. That's kind of an interesting point. And again, it's because none of it's real. It's marketed back to people, but it's not actually a true thing. When you looked at Janis Joplin, she was
phenomenal.
a real person. You know what I mean? She stumbled in, she stumbled out. They tried to figure out how to get her to one place to the other. But that these young girls now get an itinerary and are sent to different people for that look. It's not theirs.
Right. Yeah, if Janice existed now, like, there would be no one who would put money behind her.
Right.
I think in order for her to even be found.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's
They
about
would say you don't fit.
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
fit into this at all.
Unless she played Oscar the Grouch on
Yeah.
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know I often think about that. I also think about the fact that there used to be, I like imperfections. I like the balance between amazing sounds and then also a human quality to it. I think we're missing that human quality. Everything is sort of robotic and sort of, it's just annoying,
Well, I think they actually say that you can read about it, but the sound changes to the way the world changes, right? And now that people have grown up on these phones and computers, they're looking. That's why we have electronic dance music. People are moved by these machine sounds.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I
when you
covered
think
an
about it.
electronic dance music festival for
Yeah.
MTV, and I have never seen so many fucked up looking people in my entire life. It's electronic dance. People, first of all, these DJs have millions of followers, and they go up and press play.
Yeah.
I mean, it blows my mind. I had to interview a bunch of these bands. A lot of them were very cool, but some of them I was like, you have got to go home and apologize to your mother, because this is just, I mean, this is ridiculous. And you're 45 years old and you're wearing a zebra print house mod dress with makeup. Go home. You know, it's just such a weird world. But I also, you know, I am in my own fucking boat. I listen to opera. You know, Sam Smith, great singer.
Right.
Sam Smith, great singer. That's another one. He looks like the bird woman from Home Alone 2. But he is a great singer. Doesn't he look like her?
He does,
He
actually.
does. Yeah. I love Sam Smith. Actually, he's looking good now.
Well, see, he is in the kind of soul genre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't even think that matters to a lot of people today.
But I find it shocking, like when Adele came out, that album was just so big. And I was like, hello, isn't it a wake-up call that
Yeah.
there's a woman out there who she doesn't look like your Pinky, right?
Yeah.
She's singing from her heart. She's writing all her music. She's not auto-tuned. It's the biggest album, I think, in the last 10 years, and then still, we're not
Then
supporting
we went
musicians
right
like
back
that.
the other,
Yeah. It's
other
crazy.
way.
Sam
Yeah.
Smith is like the male Adele at
Yeah.
this point. All his songs to me, I think, are about bad grinder hookups. Won't you stay with me? You know, it's like, did you just have a bad grinder hookup, Sam? Yeah, I'll bet you that's true.
Matteo Lane, new episodes of Girl Code Monday after Teen Wolf. This is not even a time. It's just after. We don't know when Teen Wolf.
That's according
11.
to the
I think it's
website.
11 Eastern,
Yeah.
10 Central.
And
Or
then
11:30. Oh, just look on your TV guide.
go see Matteo at the Lemonade Stand, happening Wednesday, September 30th, at the stand in New York City. On Twitter at Matteo Lane.
Follow me, hate me. I mean, I'm sure when I turn on my phone, I'm going to get a lot of hate, so I'm really sorry.
No, I hope not. I want everyone to say nice things to
By the way,
Matteo.
your interview with Joan Rivers
Yeah.
was such a good interview.
It was amazing,
I'm
wasn't
so
it?
jealous that I love her.
You know, on the day, we're coming up on the anniversary that she passed away.
Are you?
And we're playing that interview as well as all the people who called the show. Who were some of the folks on there? Amy Schumer called that day.
Susie Essman, Jeff Ross.
Just people who loved. She had done this show a few times, and the first time she was like very defensive but incredibly funny. But she got more and more comfortable. So finally, we did. To get that interview probably took years of a little bit more. But I just adored her, man. She was just.
Do I have time to tell you quick, just like, how much time do we have before we go to commercial?
Whatever you need.
All right, give me 45 minutes. No,
Yeah.
I always say that it's very stereotypical for me to be gay and be like, I love Joan Rivers. But as a gay man growing up, I didn't ever listen to. Now I love Bill Burr, and now I love Bill Hicks, and now I love all the great. But there was no door that opened for me to really get into stand-up comedy. So for a long time, I wasn't like a huge comedy fan growing up, like a lot of people. And then when I was 18, I saw a Joan Rivers stand-up comedy special on Bravo. And the first thing she does when she came out, they're like, Joan Rivers, she walks out on stage. The first words out of her mouth, she's like, if you're old, pick up your fucking walkers and crawl out of here, you old crumbs. I hate old people. I hate ugly people. I hate children. I only use them for my jewelry business. Little fingers set little stones. And it blew my mind. And that was when I knew I wanted to become a comedian, because and that, of course gay men like adore her, but she really did open up a door for me to say, oh, I can talk about comedy that way. I can do it this way. I can do it that way. She is so incredible and so wonderful, and I'm not over her death.
I never will be. I was so fond of her, but just like we talked about Anthony Jeselnik, she was such a sweet person. Was still bust balls, but there was a kindness in her that was unbelievable, and a work ethic that was phenomenal. The fact that she died with $150 million kills me, because she went out every day like she was working for lunch.
Yeah.
Every day I would see her. Her schedule would be insane.
I get that. If I have a blank day, I feel like no one wants me, no one needs me.
Yeah.
My manager's like, don't end up like Joan Rivers. And I was like, I get that.
Yeah.
I get the feeling of you need to be, it's kind of like a drug. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It fills you up. So yeah, I get that. Because she always said, what am I going to do when I retire? Sit at home? No. No. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, it's a shame. But I watched that interview. You killed it. She is so... it was great.
That interview was one of the pleasures of my life. Like, truly, and the one thing that I will give myself credit for is, like, I was thinking that while it was happening. I'm like, while it was happening, I'm like, I can't believe that I get to sit down with Joan like this. Because I was just crazy about her. I just thought she was just the funniest, sweetest person. One of the things that I love is the way that I ended it too, because she never wanted to be called an icon. And I was like, the funniest and edgiest person working today. And she was like, yes. Yes. She didn't want, she did like her worst thing is like, what do you think of the young comics? Cause she was like, what? Competition.
Yeah.
That's what I think of them.
I love that though.
Yeah, it was
Don't you?
great,
I
man.
love
Just
that.
everything about her was just so amazingly raw and real. And I always bring this up too. She would reach into her purse and pull out like little napkins or scripts of paper she'd been writing that day. Was writing just gags.
Yeah.
All the time in the
An
car.
over-prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matteo, great to see you again,
Guys,
buddy. Let's
thanks
do
so much
this
for having me.
Let's do this sooner next time.
Please,
okay?
I would absolutely love to.
New episodes of Girl Code. You can see them. Go out and see them live, though. It's amazing. Doing the show, The Lemonade Stand, at The Stand in New York City. And that's at Matteo Lane on Twitter. Say nice things to him, too.
Be sweet. No, be sweet.
Yeah. And we'll see everybody again in 1974.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!